It impairs your line of sight and your ability to swerve will be delayed. Be alert when riding and be mindful of road conditions, especially when overtaking. Always inspect your motorcycle before every ride to ensure your vehicle is fully operational, especially tires and braking systems. Be sure to be well informed about bike hand signals and other safety procedures. Along with this freedom comes responsibility, but all the risks involved can be managed through training and education. Let us drive safe and share the road. I am Corporal 3599 Camille Johnson, reminding you that safety is everyone's responsibility.
At Bahama Boulevard, I'm Sean Innes. This is ZNS.
It's What's Trending with Jiminita Swain and the Bahama Beauty at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas from Studio A. It all starts right now.
Welcome, everyone. You're tuned into the ultimate destination for all things lifestyle, entertainment, and everything in between. I'm Jiminita Swain, and you're watching What's Trending, the show where we bring you the latest trends, hottest news, and insider tips on living your best life. Whether you're here for fashion, food, fitness, or the latest buzz from social media, we've got you covered. Let's dive in. China plans to impose tariffs on American imports, this in response to President Donald Trump's plan to impose 10% tariffs on Chinese imports. The proposed duties from China includes a levy of a 15% tax on certain types of coal and liquefied natural gas, and a 10% tariff on crude oil, agricultural machinery, large displacement cars, and pickup trucks. The measures take effect February 10th. Well, over on the Greek Isle of Santorini, thousands of residents were left scrambling after hundreds of earthquakes were reported in the last 48 hours. Up to Sunday, at least 9,000 residents left the island with additional emergency flights set for today. In fact, in the past 2 days, more than 300 earthquakes were recorded near the island, with some experts saying the tremors could continue for weeks. And today we thank our post office workers. Unofficially, the day honors people who deliver mail or post to people's homes and businesses. If we backtrack, historians believe that people were hired to deliver royal letters and decrees as early as 2000 BC. The oldest recorded postal document is a document from Egypt and dates back to 255 BC. Well, we acknowledge you and we thank you for your services. As for what's coming up in today's show, in studio today we have Lori Lowe to discuss the plans for the Sedurwet Knolls National Junior Sailing Championships. Also, we will be discussing the importance of dating your spouse. And we are back with our sensual notes right in time for Valentine's Day. That and more after the break. You're watching What's Trending.
Good to glow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources Jomo Campbell, along with other ministry officials, toured the Arwaki area on the heels of the completion of a waterworks and sewerage upgrade project.
The process was completed in 2 phases. I think the first phase was completed last year, April, and the second last year, December. And it is evident in the pressure, in the color, etc., of the water that is now flowing through these stalls, that the job was indeed well done. And it's a testament to the work of this administration to ensure that businesses and the general public at large are getting the best of what it is this country has to offer.
This initiative was a partnership between the Ministry of Agriculture and Water and Sewerage to improve sanitation and efficiency. Also on hand for this walkabout was Assistant Engineer with responsibility for sewer operations, Barrett Clark, who spoke to the scope of work that was done.
But all in all, it was over 550 feet of gravity main from 8 to 10. We also changed about 230 feet of sewer lateral, so we went from 4-inch to 6-inch. And this was mainly because of, over the years, the misuse of the system, hence why we added an additional vendor to the site, which is FIE, and he'll speak on why he installed his IBCs, which is industrial bulk containers. So that is definitely to make sure all vendors are educated and aware to dispose of all unused oil in a proper manner to make sure we could definitely have some long life of our sewer system.
Arawaki Vendors Association President Rodney Russell also chimed in and expressed his gratitude.
It is an over-needed facility that most business owners were looking forward to for some time. And with the good minister here, he decided to assist us in taking Arawaki a step forward. And we must, again, congratulate all of those persons, Water and Sewage, and all of its affiliates in making this fish fry, our fish fry, the Ebony Bahamian fish fry, an important place today in this country.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Diet-friendly special.
Well, young sailors from across the country will gather February 20th through 22nd at Montague Beach to compete in the highly anticipated Sir Durward Knowles National Junior Sailing Championships, where rising stars navigate challenging waters, showcase skill, determination, and sportsmanship on the race course. With participants ranging in age and experience, the event provides a platform for the next generation of sailing champions to test their mettle, making waves both on the water and in the hearts of sailing enthusiasts. In studio, we have the president of the Bahamas Sailing Association, Laurie Lowe, to give us more details on the sailing championships. Welcome to What's Trending, Laurie.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So how do you prepare young sailors for the mental and physical demands of this championship?
So basically they go out and they practice like all sports. Yeah, we have them on the water daily, practicing drills, practicing skills, and enjoying the beautiful waters of our country.
So what do you look for in junior sailors when evaluating their potential?
So sailing has three aspects to it. It's a fitness level, and you can train for the fitness level. It's technique and learning how to handle the boat. And then it's tactics and learning how to anticipate what's going to happen on the water to put yourself in the best position. So you can't really look at a kid and say they're going to be a good sailor. We take kids often that look like they're not athletes, and they become athletes in sailing. Wow. And sailing makes them into people that look like athletes. So it's an interesting sport because you can take the kids that are too small for their class and put them in a boat and they can excel. You can take kids that are really smart but not very fit, don't like sports, put them in a sailboat and they found their sport. So you never know, you just got to get the kid in the boat and see how they go.
Wow, that's interesting. So how do you ensure that safety is a priority during these races, especially with the younger competitors? I think you said you start at 8.
We start at 8. So sailing is a sport where it's the decision of each competitor as to whether or not they go on the water in the conditions that are available. Or, yeah. What we do is our coaches take a lead on that with juniors. So the coaches have a pretty good idea of the capability of each of their sailors, and they make a call based on the conditions. We have some kids that might say, I want to sail, and we say not today. They are all in life jackets. All kids who come and learn how to sail with us have to pass a basic swim test. It's not a significantly difficult swim test, but it's about making sure that if they come out of the boat, they're comfortable, and they're comfortable enough to trust that the life jacket will keep them afloat. So those are the things we look at. Yeah.
And that's important. So can you share some tips for parents supporting their children in competitive sailing?
Oh, believe in your kid and always be positive about what they're doing. If they're enjoying it, keep them coming. Yeah.
And I know you said that sailing is, I guess, working with these young people is something that you love. So what changes or improvements have you seen in junior sailing over the years?
Oh, what improvements have we seen in junior sailing? So we've got more and more kids coming out. When we started the National Sailing School, sailing was pretty much limited to private member clubs. Now we're working with government. We've been working with government for quite a few years. COVID put us back a little bit. We were in a number of government schools where we had them coming and learning how to sail. COVID stopped that, but we're back now. We've got kids from Uriah McPhee, C.W. Sawyer, and E.P. Roberts. Probably a couple of the kids from Uriah McPhee will be able to be racing in what we call the Green Fleet, which is an introduction to racing. So we're really excited to see them, and we're really excited to get more kids out learning how to sail. Of course, the first thing they have to do is learn how to swim, and Let's Swim Bahamas is doing a great job of helping give swimmers in the Bahamas.
That's great, that's great. So how do you balance the competition with the fun and enjoyment of the sport for the younger sailors?
I think our coaches do a pretty good job. I'm not on the water out there with the kids a lot of the time. I might be out there at races, but largely we leave it to our coaches to run the practices and make sure that the kids are having as much fun as they are learning.
And so what is the most rewarding part of coaching or organizing these sailing championships for yourself?
The most rewarding part of being involved in youth sailing is getting kids out on the water and appreciating the beauty of our water, appreciating the beauty of a sport that I love, and watching them come off the water just absolutely excited to have been doing what they were doing. It's lovely.
And are you able to tell us how many persons are going to be competing during the course of that weekend?
I don't have the full numbers, but I think we're going to have 80 to 100. I haven't seen the full numbers yet.
Okay. And the championships are open to the public, so where will they be and what can persons expect from them?
Okay, so we'll be racing in Montague Bay. We're going to try and have all the racing pretty close to the breakwaters at Montague Beach Park. And that will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. On Thursday, we start about 11, and we'll finish about 4. And Friday and Saturday, we start at 10, again, finishing about 4. There won't be racing the entire time, but we will be on the water pretty much with boats for most of that time.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Lori, for joining us in studio today. And of course, a good luck to all the young sailors during the competition.
Yeah, good luck to all the young sailors.
While you're watching What's Trending, there's more after the break.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You heard what they say, boy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a TV from Security Depot or a pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
Abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in this.
Leading to Valentine's Day, we're showing ways to make your significant other fall in love with you all over again. Well, dating doesn't stop after the wedding day. It's a key part of building a strong, lasting marriage. Today, I sit down with Richard and Tamara Desmingles, a couple of more than 16 years who share how their faith has shaped their relationship, keeping Christ at the center of their love and commitment. In their book, Affirm Always Freely Forgiving Instead of Remembering the Mess-Ups, the Desmingles share 40 days of positive affirmations to ignite the passion and encourage each other in marriage, also creating exciting ways to connect with your spouse. From memorable date nights to navigating challenges through prayer, they open up about the importance of continuing to date your spouse even after years of marriage. Welcome to What's Trending, Richard and Tamara.
Good day.
Happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, thanks. So let's start with you, Richard, from the beginning. How did God bring you two together, and what role did your faith play in your relationship from the start?
Well, from the start, we actually met in high school. I have a running joke where she was always my girlfriend from high school. But it wasn't until in 2006 where we met at a friend's party. We reconnected, and then we started dating. During our dating course, we decided to, we actually started to visit each other's church. So she would go to my church, I would go to her church, and then we'll do Bible study together. And then that process really said, you know what, let's take it a bit further. Then we started to, basically what the Bahamian people say, started courting for marriage. So that's what it basically happened from the beginning. So our faith was always in there, reading the Bible and praying together.
What inspired you to write this book, and what is the message that you hope readers take away from it?
So what inspired us to write the book was the need in marriages for spouses to be positively affirmed. We host date nights, whether for church or just personally, and we've always been led to end with having spouses affirm each other. And so people often think that because we're married, you know I love you, you know I appreciate you, but it's not until it's actually said publicly and I guess too amongst other people that the sense of appreciation really settles in, and it's always a moving experience when we do it. So
why do you think that that's lacking? Like you say, people feel like, well, you know that's how I feel about you, but how do you change that mindset for persons to say, hey, you need to say this to the person so they feel that and they know it and they, as you say, are affirmed by it?
I think it's just us being intentional. us using our words intentionally, positively. I could, as a wife, I could find something to complain about. I could find, something to say what you're not doing.
Yes.
But why not flip it and say everything that you are? Why not magnify the good?
What advice would you give to couples who seem to be struggling to keep God at the center of their marriages as they try to juggle the busy demands of life?
Well, I would say continue to communicate to each other. Continue to make time, make it intentional to read the word together, to reflect on the word, and most definitely to pray together.
And so lastly, what are you most grateful for in your marriage, and how has your faith helped you to grow as a couple?
I am most grateful for friendship. We know what's trending on TikTok now is we listen, we don't judge. But having a friendship outside of being married, or that being the foundation of our marriage, is what I value most. And our faith has definitely, it reassures that no matter what I do, how I look, what I go through, I know this dude, this king, this godly man is covering me. So that is friendship.
Well, I stand to say vulnerability, remaining vulnerable to each other. And like she mentioned, no judgment, no casting any judgment. And you're able to show your weakness when she is your strength, or she show her weakness when I can be your strength.
Well, I know tomorrow you want to send out a special happy birthday to somebody.
Yes, so our youngest, Takaya, she is celebrating 11 on tomorrow, and so we want to wish her the happiest birthday that she can possibly have, and we will do whatever we can in our power as parents to make that an awesome day. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kaya.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you both, Richard and Tamara, for joining us on the show today, and of course, great success, not only in your marriage, but with your book as well.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, there's much more after the break. Stay with us.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community, also help with the education of our kids in this community, and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Pipe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
What? You don't know who TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You heard what they say, boy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Here at Immigration Care Service, you can trust us, especially if you have experienced issues or problems with the U.S. immigration at the borders. We'll do our best to provide options and solutions to immigration roadblocks, so travelers can continue visiting the U.S. and residents can continue living their lives in the U.S. without worries. The best part? Our services are affordable and accessible. Take the mystery, confusion, and fear out of your immigration concerns. Contact Immigration Care Service today.
Whether you're treating yourself or someone special, there's no better time to dive into a luxurious world of scents. Thanks for staying with us. Has someone ever walked past you and the scent of their cologne or perfume just lingered in the air, causing you to stop in your tracks or simply ask what they're wearing? Well, the Perfume Bar has fragrances that will draw you in. And this is the perfect time to stock up on your favorite fragrances or try something new. In studio, we have Nayoka Pinder, store manager at the Perfume Bar. Welcome back to What's Trending, Nayoka.
Hi, welcome back.
Well, it's great to have you here. And we know that there is a popular brand, Sol de Janeiro. What scents do you have here with that brand? And talk to us a little bit about it.
Okay, with the Sol de Janeiro brand, we have not only body, but hair care also.
And what makes it so popular?
We have hair care with shampoo and conditioners. We have foot care also. We have the body oils, the body creams, the scrubs, and the fragrance mist to complement the scent.
And obviously, Body Scrubs was Cosmopolitan Reader's Choice Award winner in 2022. So I know it's a favorite among many, but why should I incorporate this scrub into my shower or bath routine?
Okay, with the body scrub from the Sol de Janeiro, this one here, it has coconut oil, jojoba oil inside of it. It has caffeine inside of it, so you can use it for a good exfoliation. So it's going to give you a soft and luminous complexion after you're done.
And you're also going to smell great.
Very much so.
Well, I know the Bomb cream pairs well with the scrub. So tell us about the benefits of using it on my body as a combo.
Okay, with a combo, and it can be used every day throughout the year. You're not going to have any reaction from the products. With the cream, it's going to give you a soft, luminous finish and a sun-kissed glow.
And obviously, accompanying is the spray. When I spray this, what are some of the notes that are going to hit my senses first?
With the spray, it's a complement to the line itself. So with the spray, we have vanilla, jasmine, and pistachio inside of it.
So would you say that they're nice, light notes?
They're very nice, light notes, and it has like a warm gourmand scent.
Oh, that sounds very nice. So tell us, what are the top or mid notes in these scents?
Okay, with it, we have the top notes is going to be vanilla. The middle notes inside of it is going to be pistachio and jasmine.
Okay, so talk to us about this beautiful brand here, also in the line.
Okay, with this one here, this is the Beija Flora line. The Beija Flora line targets elasticity in the skin, and it has collagen based inside of it.
And we know collagen is important.
Yes.
We need that.
Yes, it plumps the skin and give it a luminous, plump finish.
So this is, so would you tell viewers that they need all of them, or what's the key one that you think that they should walk away with, or just it depends on their pockets?
It depends on actually what they like and what they prefer.
All right, so we know that Valentine's is coming up. Are there any special promotions?
Okay, the promotion that the Perfume Bar is having right now is 40% off on selected items and 10% off throughout the store.
And of course, they want to know where they can find you, Nayoka, so when they're ready to purchase their Bomb cream or mist, where can they find you?
They can find me in the Old Fort Bay Plaza, Town Center Mall. Our store hours is from 10 to 6, and we're closed on Sunday.
Well, if you're looking for the perfect gift, give the gift of fragrance or skincare from the Perfume Bar. Well, there's more after the break.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a TV from Security Depot or a game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch What's Trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
diet-friendly special.
Well, this is our last show for the week, just for the week, guys. As always, we will be back on Monday at 6 p.m. with more exciting guests, thought-provoking conversations, and a lot of laughs, only on the ZNS Network. See you later.
At Rusty Bethel Drive, I'm Paisol Forbes. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Local government runoff election set for Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Mayaguana. Plus, West Grand Bahama and Bimini MP fires back at the FNM and highlights PLP progress. And students escape injury as a bus driver suffers seizure and crashes.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
The future of the Bahamas rests in the hands of our youth. Let us empower them.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Headed for a runoff, the results from one polling division in Grand Bahama's local government elections are inconclusive, prompting a redo. It's one of three to be held in a matter of days, as runoffs are also planned for Bimini Polling Division 11 and Mayaguana Polling Division 10. Our Cleopatra Murphy has tonight's top story.
Approximately 400 West Grand Bahama voters in Polling Division 13 are set to head to the polls again on Tuesday, February 11th for a runoff election. This is after candidates Chantel Forbes and Marvette Russell both secured 54 votes in the January 23rd local government elections. Administrator and Returning Officer Leonard Dames Jr. says the election will be held at the Community Center at Mount Zion Baptist Church in Russelltown.
At that time, the election will only be held for the two candidates who were tied. So it means then that only persons in polling division number 13 who was on the register up to the 23rd, only them and them only are eligible to vote in that election.
Like the January 23rd elections, poll hours will be between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Dame says there will be a recount with the official winner named that Thursday.
The reason why is because even though the presiding officer does the count on the election day, the returning officer, he is the one who actually sanctions that the elections are official. Therefore, there's a recount the day following.
As for other districts, Dame says members of the West End Township took their oaths last Thursday.
Yesterday, we would have worked with the Pindus Point Township, where the members, they would have been sworn in, they would have taken an oath. Then shortly after which they elected amongst themselves who would be the chairperson, the deputy chair, and also a member to go to council. On Wednesday, we would also do the same thing with the 8 Mile Rock West, whereby they would elect a chairperson, a deputy chair, and someone else to go to council.
Runoffs aside, Dame says the election process was a smooth one, and he expects the same for the runoff. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Thanks, Cleo. Switching gears now, the Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini is hitting back at the Free National Movement, accusing them of inaction during their time in office, highlighting the progress made under the Progressive Liberal Party in his constituency. His remarks came at a recent Progressive Young Liberals conclave, which had drawn criticism from the opposition. The details in this report.
West Grand Bahama and Bimini is staying with the PLP.
Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Kingsley Smith Jr., launching a strong critique of the Free National Movement as he responded to their criticisms of the Progressive Liberal Party's recent youth conclave on the island. While the opposition lambasted the event, Smith countered by pointing out that the occasion was fitting, especially given the progress made in his constituency.
I am told that they said that the Obadiah Wilshcombe government complex was too good for the people of 8 Maroc. That's why they didn't touch it for 4.5 years, even though it was 90% completed. So yes, we rally in Dr. Sons. They didn't touch the Holmes Rock Secondary School, but it's being completed. They didn't demolish the West End Police Station because they never had any intentions for building one in West End. We demolished it.
And he says progress is being made in Bimini as well.
State-of-the-art airport is being built in Bimini. So yes, we rallying. Roads are being paved in South Bimini. So yes, we rallying.
He says the FNM's past record, particularly during the last administration, was marked by inaction, as he dubbed them the do-nothing party, despite having 5 sitting MPs during their tenure. He pointed to ongoing projects such as the work at Pine Forest Park, urging the opposition not to criticize initiatives that are still in progress.
It was in a dilapidated state for the past 20+ years. The FNM was the government within that span twice, but did not see fit to provide a state-of-the-art park for the residents. But with fake concern, sought pretending to do so in the by-election. We are doing it.
He also addressed the opposition's recent criticism of the Davis administration's handling of the country's housing crisis, pointing out that while the FNM has yet to build a single home, it was the PLP that successfully developed 3 subdivisions in West Grand Bahama, and he says more homes will be built.
In present day, in those subdivisions in West Grand Bahama, there are 48 vacant lots, and guess what? We are going to build new affordable homes on them. The PLP government is working for you.
Station.
While a bus driver on the island experienced a seizure attack while transporting school students. The driver was picking up the students from a local bus stop, and en route to their school, his health failed, resulting in the driver hitting a lamppost. The driver is presently in the hospital, and the children on board were left unharmed. Our Jolanda Thompson-Everest has that story.
A bus driver making his usual rounds at the Hawkswell bus stop suddenly suffered a seizure while driving. He was accompanied by 5 students from Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School, but fortunately none of them were hurt.
I'm very thankful to the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Apparently, the bus driver had a medical emergency and he had a seizure. The bus ran into a stop sign, and we had 5 students that were on the bus. One of them said he jumped out while the bus was moving. That would have been more damaging, I thought. But we spoke with them. Right now, they're all right.
The principal explains that officers from the Royal Bahamas Police Force escorted the children safely to school and also collected their IDs and information. While the driver is currently at the hospital, she admits that some of the students are left traumatized by the incident.
I told them if there's a need for anything, they feel any kind of aches or pains or anything, they can come to me. I think the parents have been informed, and the police officer would have called the parent.
While the condition of the bus driver is unknown, the principal says that a contingency plan for a replacement driver is in place by the Ministry of Education. However, she's urging parents to remain on standby.
Ministry of Education always have a contingency plan, and I'm thankful for that, because if that driver can't do it, then they can always ensure that there's another bus driver in preparation for the children whilst they're coming to school. And if that's not done immediately, then we're going to encourage parents just to drop the children.
Principal Thompson and the entire faculty at Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School are overall relieved that the 5 students are alive and that this frightening situation wasn't much worse. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
In news from the crime beat, police on Grand Bahama are also investigating a stabbing that occurred sometime before 9:30 p.m. on Monday, February 3rd, 2025 in Pinders Point. Responding officers discovered an adult female with an apparent stab wound who was rushed to the Rand Memorial Hospital in a private vehicle. Tonight, she is listed in serious condition. Meanwhile, a 52-year-old man has been arrested and is presently assisting police with their investigations into this matter. In other news from the crime beat, police officials have discontinued an all-points bulletin for Lethor Thompson, also known as Ben Ben of Cypress Court and Elizabeth Estates. Reports indicate that Thompson was wanted in connection with threats of death. Late Tuesday afternoon, police reported that the wanted suspect was in custody. Well, CMT Tours and Entertainment is back after closing its doors a few years ago. The company, known for its limo-style party bus, had to overcome a number of challenges, but their path of resilience led them to being selected as premier touring experience in the coming future. Shane Stubbs was there and found the relaunch in this report.
Now, you may commonly know them as the party bus, but CMT Tours is a little bit more than that. They've been around since 2017, but challenges following Hurricane Dorian forced them to close their doors, pivot, and rebrand. Now in 2025, they've made a grand comeback and plan to play a bigger role in the tourism landscape.
Out of 80 applicants, with under 30 being chosen for Celebration Key, CMT Tours got the contract.
Back and bigger than ever with a fleet of 3 luxury buses, CMT Tours is back in business, currently operating tours out of the Freeport Harbor until Celebration Key is completed. But how did they get here? The company is the brainchild of several partners offering a unique social experience for the general public. But following Hurricane Dorian and damages to their only bus, the company was forced to close their doors. A few years later, discussions of reopening began in 2023 with the purchase of a new bus following the announcement of Celebration Key coming to Grand Bahama. As an employee of Pharmachem Technologies who witnessed the closure up close and personal last year, Dorset believes their preparation and foresight put them in pole position for what's to come.
Once again, it goes back to the quote that it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. I also want to thank SBDC and the Ministry for Grand Bahama for grants that we received on the onset of this venture.
In her remarks, Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honourable Ginger Moxie, says a venture of this magnitude is why the Empower Grand Bahama Grant was launched, to inspire lucrative creativity for those in the orange economy.
I applaud the management team for providing unique, entertaining experiences to tourists and residents, and for their commitment to showcasing the best of our island.
With over $2 billion of investments lauded for Grand Bahama, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Honourable I. Chester Cooper, commends CMT Tours and Entertainment for taking the initiative and showing an understanding of putting themselves in the right place for the right time.
There's no better time than to be in this type of business than right now. You started with a grant or two, and you have grown it significantly.
Limo-style party buses also specialize in weddings, proms, funerals, birthday parties, and serves as an executive and corporate shuttle. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
And still to come.
Turks and Caicos voters sharing strong opinions as Election Day approaches, with some splitting votes. We will have that story, sports, and a whole lot more when we return.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
Welcome
Welcome to the new era of home improvement. Third Dimension is back and better than ever. Discover our latest products and services designed to transform your space. From innovative designs to cutting-edge technology, we've got it all. Your dream space is just a call away. Our team is here and ready to serve you, making your experience better than ever. Visit us today on Yellow Pine Street and see why Third Dimension is your go-to for all things home improvement.
Bethel's Air Conditioning and Refrigeration presents a Valentine's Day sale from February 1st to the 14th. Get Boreal Lotus Series 17C mini split inverter units with bonded prices starting at $444.50. Cash sale only. Don't miss out.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a 58-inch TV from Security Depot or a great game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
Blessed at the New Life Worship Center in Freeport, Grand Bahama, where Bishop Simeon Ouden is the senior pastor. Services are on Sunday at 9 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Come and experience a time of praise and worship in the Word.
#1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. With Election Day just around the corner, voters across the Turks and Caicos Islands are sharing their thoughts on the direction they hope the country will take. While some are solidly behind the party of their choice, others remain undecided, and some say they are splitting their votes across party lines. Remiko Knowles has that report.
Excitement is building across the Turks and Caicos Islands as the nation prepares to head to the polls. For some voters, the decision is already made, and they're ready to show their support in a big way.
All the way PNP. All my life I've been voting PNP, and I'll continue to vote PNP. Support the PNP candidates.
I'm looking at the state of the country, and I see the difference when PDM run the country and when PNP run the country, and I know this will be a lot more prosperous under the PDM.
One passionate supporter of the People's Democratic Movement has even written a song outlining why she believes the party is the best choice for the country.
The PDM ain't looking out for one, they looking out for all jobs. For TI's on the back burner. We underpaid. They taking over. Let me stop talking. I going further. Crime on the rise. Turks and Caicos too slack. Hey, Chrissy, bring the track back.
While some voters have already made up their minds, others say they are still weighing their options.
Yeah, I just can't say yet.
Okay.
I just can't say yet.
I'll decide that the day of election.
I'm supporting the best of the vote, which is the best.
Meanwhile, others say they are taking a different approach, choosing candidates from different parties instead of voting straight down one line.
I'm not going to give all to the PNP or one party, okay? I'm over here. I'm from Nassau. I'm over here to cast my vote.
Shouldn't they lie? PNP, shouldn't they lie?
With just hours remaining before polls open, both parties are making their final push, hoping to secure every last vote in what is shaping up to be a closely contested election. The political landscape remains dynamic. Some voters are all in, some are undecided, and others are splitting their votes. One thing is certain, their decision will shape the future of this country. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Remiko Knowles.
Thank you for that, Rumiko. Well, the Grand Bahama Power Company has announced key leadership changes aimed at boosting operational reliability and customer service. As part of its Road to Reliability initiative, Nielsen Beneby returns to GBPC as Energy Transformation Lead after 6 years leading renewable energy development at Emera Caribbean Renewables. His role will also drive modernization efforts and the integration of renewable energy solutions. In addition, GBPC has promoted Rowena Martin to Director of Shared Services, overseeing procurement and logistics, and Brittany Pratt to Director of Regulatory Affairs, where she'll ensure compliance and regulatory excellence. Peyton Bain has also been named Director of Customer Excellence, focusing on improving customer service and digital engagement. These leadership advancements will play a key role in GBPC's efforts to enhance energy infrastructure and provide reliable, sustainable power to Grand Bahama Island. Well, switching gears now, a Grand Bahama native has been appointed as the new chair of the Bahamas Red Cross Grand Bahama Center. According to a press release, with her extensive background in humanitarian work and leadership, Lisa Turnquest is poised to drive significant growth and positive change within the organization. In her new role, Turnquest will provide strategic oversight, lead governance initiatives, and guide the center's programs and partnerships. She will also head the committee at the Grand Bahama Center, ensuring that all activities align with the mission and strategic goals of the Bahamas Red Cross Society. Edison Sumner, president of the Bahamas Red Cross Society, expressed his enthusiasm for the appointment, stating, having also served as the chairperson of the Bahamas Red Cross Grand Bahama Center's Ball Committee, Lisa's proven leadership skills make her an ideal choice for this role. Ms. Turnquest will join the executive committee of the National Society, collaborating with fellow members to make informed decisions that support the center's objectives. Turnquest says she is honored to take on this responsibility and excited to work alongside such a dedicated team. And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's happening in sports?
I know it's the month of February, the month of love, but it's the month of sports as well, too. I love sports. So coming up, a whole lot of sports coming up.
All right, Jay, sports comes your way next, but first, here's a check on your local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
See news in the making? Call us at 352-9713 or 359-5167, or you can email us at ZNS3news@gmail.com.
For the best in premium lubricants for your vehicle, purchase Super Synthetic Motor Oils and Hydraulic Fluids, distributed by KMW Battery and Tires in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Shisha Lounge and Restaurant, located in Grace Bay, Providenciales, your #1 night spot in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Come party with the stars.
See and enjoy the island of Grand Bahama with so much to offer. H. Forbes Charter Services Limited is just what you need to make your next experience a memorable one. We serve groups of all sizes in cool and comfortable limousines, coaches, and buses. We're the one to call for sightseeing tours, charter services, bonfire on the beach, and other fun-filled activities. So come and experience Grand Bahama Island with us, where it keeps getting better.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sport. It's been a busy weekend in sports and a busy weekend ahead. We have highlights in basketball, cycling, but let's begin with track and field. Grand Bahamian and former NCAA champion Terrence Jones made his pro debut at the Boston Indoor Grand Prix meet in the 60-meter dash. Jones finished second in 6.57 seconds behind Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles. Sticking with track and field, BME has held the sports day recently at the GB Sports Complex. It was a good test for athletes in preparation for island sports and nationals.
This sets a great standard for us, especially heading into our track season, going into island sports and nationals. Get to have a good look at our athlete to see who was fit, who wasn't where they should be, and stuff like that. So it's good to have this competition early in the year so we can do a lot of planning going forward.
Next in sports, scores from junior boys basketball. Sunland defeated 8 Mile Rock 28-19, led by Traquan Gordon with 10 points. And Sister Mary got the win against the Beacon School 40-0. Also, Jack Hayward dominated BMES 21-3. Last in sports, the Grand Bahama Port Authority Tour de Grand Bahama is set for this weekend on Saturday and Sunday.
We are huge supporters of sporting events, health, wellness, and cycling initiatives here on the island, namely our GBPA Countman Triathlon, which is led by our acting chairman, Sarah St. George, the Horrible 100, which is another cycling initiative hosted by the Cycling Association, and now Tour de Grand Bahama. So we just commend Mr. Kenton Roker and his team for making Grand Bahama the home for Tour de Grand Bahama.
And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Enjoy the island of Grand Bahama with so much to offer. H. Forbes Charter Services Limited is just what you need to make your next experience a memorable one. We serve groups of all sizes in cool and comfortable limousines, coaches, and buses. We're the one to call for sightseeing tours, charter services, bonfire on the beach, and other fun-filled activities. So come and experience Grand Bahama Island with us, where it keeps getting better.
Come and be blessed at the New Life Worship Center in Freeport, Grand Bahama, where Bishop Simeon Ouden is the senior pastor. Services are on Sunday at 9 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Come and experience a time of praise and worship in the Word. Shisha Lounge and Restaurant, located in Grace Bay, Providenciales, your #1 night spot in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Come party with the stars.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that is going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight. They're coming your way next.
Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a TV from Security Depot or a game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
What kind of cars? Are you serious, man? You ain't even know where to park? Yeah, just don't park in the... Look at this way. Like, you ain't get nowhere to go. Don't park. Just don't park in the handicap spot. Yeah, that's handicap. No, man, you can't park in the handicap spot. I ain't gonna be that long. I ain't gonna be that long. Handicap spot, right? Boy, what's going on, dog? Man, I tell you we shouldn't park here now. This way park here, man.
I tell you we shouldn't park here.
Don't get one of these things. My bad big broke, and he got a stick inside this. This mud though. We gotta move. This is honey gas. Let's go. But we gotta move. Don't leave it right now. Sorry.
Be considerate. Don't use disabled parking spaces without a decal in your vehicle. This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
It's a joy, to help someone who is in need,
I'm proud to know that we are able to accommodate them with a hot meal, fresh meal, and a well-balanced meal.
A lot of our clients, as you know, it's in the inner city and persons who really include and so much at a loss. And for whatever reason, 2 months, 3 months, they really don't have anything. You have to have some kind of kindness to do this.
Abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in...
News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, Bahamians forewarned. Buckle up and brace for proposed trumped-up tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. Tune in to hear more about the possible impact on your pocketbook. Also, January 31st in the rear view, but tens of local businesses are still not licensed. A Department of Inland Revenue official has some reason why. And a significant increase in errant police officers. We have the numbers and reasons behind the upswing. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. America's trade war, a looming concern for the region, which may lead to a new norm for countries like the Bahamas, heavily reliant on imports, estimated in excess of $3.7 billion. In this report, our Altavis Munnings examines the possible fallout from those tariffs proposed for Canada, China, and Mexico that are on pause, at least for now.
A lot of that stuff that we import is not actually made in the U.S. It's made in other countries. And some of those other countries include Mexico, China, and Canada.
Chairman of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, Timothy Ingram, pointing out that significant increases can be expected once United States President Donald Trump's trade war attack on Mexico, Canada, and China sets in. As dialogue between Canada and Mexico and the U.S. has now led to a month delay on the tariffs, the Chamber executive remains cautious. Items like avocados, among others, according to Ingram, may be set to soar in price.
The U.S. has applied a 25% tariff to Mexican avocados. When we import those Mexican avocados from the U.S., then we will get that 25% tariff added on as well, which means the increased cost for those goods.
From car parts produced in Canada to vegetables grown in Mexico, a bleak outlook for nations like the Bahamas. The trade war imposed while creating challenges for Mexico, China, and Canada, so Ingram believes, may have a reverberating effect.
The U.S. is a huge exporter of agricultural products. Pork, for instance, being one of them. And so if the U.S. farmers are not able to sell their pork to Canada, to Mexico, to China, it may be the case that you see discounted prices on those kinds of things.
The Chamber chairman feels a shift in import patterns may also be looming, affording greater purchasing options for the Bahamas outside of the United States.
We should cultivate other other markets as well, and begin to look at those for when there is an issue with sourcing from the U.S.
And the latest tariff development announced on Tuesday when China listed a broad package of economic measures targeting the United States, hitting back at U.S. President Donald Trump's 10% tariffs on Chinese imports. Now, the fresh taxes will be levied on items like crude oil, liquefied natural gas, coal, cars, and pickup trucks. And according to international reports, the new Chinese tariffs are expected to begin next week, Monday, February 10th. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
Well, thanks, Altaviz. Now, in related news, it seems President Trump is setting his sights on much more than Canada and Greenland. According to a purported Reuters February 3rd article, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief this weekend announced that the Bahamas holds much in the way of national security concern for the United States. The article goes on to cite that discussions are reportedly being held on how to transform the Bahamas into one that serves U.S. interests and breaks it out of the clutches of communism, adding that the plan is to simply replace the Constitution with that of Florida and make the existing island groups become counties. Well, at best, classic case of fake news there, as dismissed by both U.S. Embassy officials and Director of Communications Latre Raming himself. Raming posted earlier today that the image being circulated purporting to be an article claiming the Bahamas will become the 53rd state is false, not credible, and does not represent an actual report by Reuters. Raming goes further to encourage all Bahamians to verify the source of information they receive on social media to avoid the spread of misinformation and, by extension, to always rely on trusted and credible platforms for accurate news about the Bahamas. All in other news, the time's up for business licenses to be renewed, but there are tens of applications out there still outstanding. Devontae Hanna has the story.
With the January 31st deadline in the rear, the Department of Inland Revenue is now seeing a marked improvement in business owners filing their business license renewal application.
We're looking at progressing at maybe 70-75% of individuals have been compliant, and so the date of January 31st has passed. We're looking forward to the next date, which is the payment date, which is March 31st.
In January, Inland Revenue's operations manager Dexter Fernanda told reporters of the 65,000 businesses in country last year, only a mere 97,000 of them had filed weeks before the cutoff date. Tonight, he confirms under 4,000 remain outstanding.
January 31st was the filing date, and the individuals have up to March 31st that they can make the payment. We have progressed with cases. There is no issues so far, and our learning curve is much quicker. The compliance level this year is 85-90%. Last year, we had a new system, so it's the same system this year. The process, we placed more materials into the public domain. On the Family Islands, we had a lot of DIR come to you, and so it helped with the information, submitting the information, and filing on time. So we're looking forward to.
And the process, Fernando says, will be decentralized as the team here at the Department of Inland Revenue plans to make several trips to the Family Islands for your convenience.
And so the word is getting out on the Family Islands on the ease of submitting, ease of doing business. You give us your preliminary figures now because your accounting certification isn't due until in March also. And on that basis, you file, make payment, and then if there is no outstanding arrest to the department, your business license is issued.
With dozens still making an attempt to clear their affairs at the Jamaica Road office, Fernando also notes that the team at the Department of Inland Revenue is cracking down on some 600 businesses who misreported their turnover while filing. He directly addresses concerns that some may not have made any revenue, clearly defining what it means in the Business License Act.
The first year of operation, you should at least have some revenue, some reporting of revenue. You might be in a loss or net, profit and gain. But in terms of your monthly obligations, monthly revenue, what is that received? All of that received by the business.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
We turn our attention now to court news. 8 counts of abetment to import dangerous drugs levied against 33-year-old Hugh Gray Jr., who was arraigned in Magistrate Court number 5 on Monday before Senior Magistrate Raquel Wims. The charges stemming from a major drug seizure following a plane crash on Acklands on Friday, December 6, 2024. Gray is now the 8th suspect to be brought before the courts as police seek to dismantle a drug trafficking ring. About a week after the plane crash, police arrested Bahamians Mickey Albert, Jerry Pierre, Chelsea Armley, Robert McSweeney, and Demario Ferguson, as well as Colombians Julio Alberto Casadiego and John Gomez Pina. Prosecutors allege the defendants conspired to poured 1,982 pounds of cocaine and 50 pounds of hydroponic marijuana into the Bahamas between October 1st and December 6th. On December 6th, police reportedly seized those drugs packaged in 24 multicolored bundles from a crashed blue and white plane in Acklands. While no one was arrested at the scene, all 7 defendants were later taken into custody for their alleged involvement. The seized cocaine has an estimated street value of $15.3 million. The marijuana, well, another $50,000. Now back to Hugh Gray's case. He was not required to enter a plea to the charges and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The matter was adjourned to April 17th. Well, tonight, new data revealing a worrisome increase in complaints against police officers. We're talking by 115% from 147 cases in 2023 to 315 in 2024. Commissioner of Police Shanton Knowles revealing as much to the media Monday during the RBPF's annual Meet the Press. According to the commissioner, complaints from civilians rose by 79%. Internal police complaints springboarded by 170%, and accusations of corruption shot up by 150%.
There were 159 complaints against police officers made by civilians. 64 remain under investigation. 43 were closed with no further action. 37 fell in a category where it was unfounded, withdrawal, or compensation made. 6 fell in a category where civil action was advised, it was informally resolved, or it became statutory. And 9 cases were forwarded to the tribunal. There were 147 internal cases. 27 remain under investigation. 51 of them were withdrawn. 45 remain before the tribunal. 13 officers were interdicted. 8 officers were remanded, and 2 cases were resolved and closed.
Commissioner Knowles says she and her senior executive team will make a concerted effort to stamp out wrongdoing within the police force, and this amid accusations of some officers being involved in murders, as well as November 2023's airport heist. An additional 4 officers have already been arrested in connection to that matter.
We continue to investigate that matter and communicate with the Department of Public Prosecution. We have put 4 other officers before the courts, and we're looking at 2 other officers, or at least looking at the evidence to determine if there is sufficient for us to place those officers before the courts or before our tribunal. If the members of the public has direct information that can assist us with those investigations, please bring it forward. We are not afraid to deal with our own. As you can see, we have put officers before the courts in connection with the heist. And if we find officers wanting in any murder case, we certainly will look for the evidence and put them before the courts.
Coming up, the IDB's non-committal response to the Prime Minister on policy-based loans. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Here's more news in a moment.
Imagine a world where every brand knows your name and every store awaits your arrival. Elite shopping, travel where luxury is a lifestyle and every journey feels like home. Dine where every flavor is just for you, every table reserved, and every moment a taste of perfection. Make every big moment even bigger. Experience banking where wealth isn't just managed, it's maximized. Step into a world without limits. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
KFC Value Box for just $9.95.
Crunch your KFC craving with a KFC value box for just $9.95. Get a piece of our golden fried chicken, crispy fries, cheesy mashed potatoes, 3 juicy all-white meat nuggets, a buttery biscuit, a sweet dessert biscuit, and a 16-ounce soda, all for just $9.95. Now that's a deal. Big flavor, bigger value, and always KFC. Finger licking good.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars. On February 22nd, 2025, the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training proudly presents the Excellence in Education Awards Ceremony, a night to honor the heart and soul of education, our educators, administrative, and technical support teams. We'll honor creativity with the Innovation Award, perseverance with the Resilience Award, and long-term commitment with the Longest Serving with Excellence Award. Celebrate school pride with the School Spirit Award and proven strategies with the Best Practice Award, spanning from early childhood to alternative education. We'll highlight rising stars with the Gen X Award, heartfelt contributions with the Student Choice Award, top school performance with the Academic Excellence Award, and so much more.
Hello?
You guys had anything to eat as yet? Y'all know Christmas just gone and it's the rock.
All right, but y'all let me working all day, but what we gonna eat?
If we was by the mall, we could go by Wendy's and get the Dave's special for $5.
Yeah, but you do know that the Dave's deal is now actually nationwide, right?
Wait, let's go. Cable Beach right there.
Let's go.
All right.
Of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. Safety first.
You're looking at a shot of the government high school, once a selective grammar school here in the capital. Well, welcome back. Members of the Inter-American Development Bank today toured the expansive work taking place at the Exuma International Airport. The IDB financed project getting their stamp of approval, as we hear in this next report from our Corvell Pfeiffer.
Through this more than $35 million loan funded by the IDB, 4 Family Island airports will receive much-needed, long-overdue upgrades, improve security, building capacity, and ensuring they are more climate resilient. This will help airports like Exuma fall more in line with best international practices. After getting a first-hand look at the work done thus far, IDB President Alan Goldfund seemed pleased with what he saw and even more at what he says it means for Exuma.
More services in terms of health, education, and very important also, more resilience, because it means that whenever we have any disaster, we can have more contact with the rest.
Charlene Coley from the Ministry of Works is the project coordinator overseeing this transformation.
The runway is 150 feet wide by 7,000 feet long. We have designed and constructed 2 additional taxiways to the airport, to the apron area. We've expanded the apron to take on more aircrafts at any one time. We've also created a jug handle, which is a holding zone for the aircraft, so at least 3 airlines can sit and wait while there's one coming in and taxiing out.
Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments, as well as Exuma native Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, delighted to show off the project for 2 reasons. Firstly, so the IDB could see how far it has gotten, and secondly, to silence critics who claim the project had stalled.
It's important work, and not to be underestimated. You cannot have the brand new terminals without some modern infrastructure on the air side. But today it's important that the people of Exuma and the people of the Bahamas understand the great work that's already happening in partnership with the IDB, and we look forward to the expansion very soon of the works on the land side.
And as this IDB delegation wraps up its one-day visit here to the Exumas, the Deputy Prime Minister is giving assurances that the first phase of this project should be completed by the end of the year. For the Bahamas Tonight in Georgetown, Exuma, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
Now, while visiting Exuma today, the IDB's president responded diplomatically to the Prime Minister's request Monday that the bank either raise or remove its cap on policy-based loans to countries like the Bahamas that are grappling with increasing challenges for climate change.
We are always looking to do two things: increase the scale of our population, which means lend more, give more resources, but also have more impact, which means to use better the resources we provide.
Well, with food prices giving shoppers sticker shock, one high school here in the capital has hatched a plan to sell eggs far below market prices. Vaughn Albury tells us more.
Here at GHS, there is an aspect of education that will last way beyond the books in the classrooms. It's the production of eggs for life. Here at GHS, they produce up to 60 eggs per day. For 3 years, agriculture teacher McNeil Parrish has been teaching the business of egg production at GHS. He proudly calls his 18 eager students some of the nation's best. And with eggs, $10 in local food stores, Trinico McNeil values his education.
I'm learning a lot. I work with my uncle at a farm, so Mr. Parrish has me to teach him some stuff what he don't know about eggs.
Which is?
He don't know how to work the incubator. Mr. Parrish teaches, so I had to teach him.
Parrish's outdoor class includes 2 sections of housed chickens. Surprisingly, it is clean and does not smell.
There is no odor. You're here in the pen, and there's no odor coming from this pen after 3 years.
I could say I'm not smelling an odor here at GHS.
We keep our nest boxes clean because we don't want to clean the eggs or wipe them, because when you wipe, you remove the bloom, which is the protection, and then the egg can be exposed to contaminants.
The Ministry of Education supports the program with help from the Ministry of Agriculture.
I don't have a problem with getting feed from the Ministry of Education. It's only on occasions we have a problem with the mill, right? Not giving us enough food, but feed, sorry.
And the price is 50% lower than food store prices.
We sell eggs here for $5. We've been selling eggs for $5 ever since we started. And we will stick to that price.
12th grader Jamal Key Jr. says students can learn lifelong lessons.
They could produce their own stuff, and they won't have to go to the food store to buy the expensive eggs. And it's not really organic, because they have to put stuff to change the color and do all kind of chemical products with it.
So here at Government Eye, you can purchase eggs in the afternoons and on weekends, because these happy chicks produce eggs that are clean, healthy, and
organic.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I am Vaughn Albury.
Good story there, Vaughn. Stay with us. There's more to come in the National Report.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Pipe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small
small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy on noon. Signature hot wings. What's your flavor? Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken, you know. Those pepper wings.
Now available at Popeyes in Nassau.
Grand Bahamians in particular, although I would invite all Bahamians to get involved in the development and the opportunities that exist in Grand Bahama. Grand Bahamians in particular need to come to sessions like this to hear about all of the new opportunities that exist.
Join us for the 26th annual Grand Bahama Business Outlook. Don't miss this networking opportunity. Register today at tclevents.com.
With just days remaining before highly anticipated general elections in the Turks and Caicos Islands, deputy leaders from the major political parties are making their final case to the electorate. Each leader urging voters to put their trust in their party's leadership for the next 5 years. Romiko Knowles is on the ground and has the details. Romiko?
The race for governance in the Turks and Caicos Islands is heating up as parties make their appeal to voters. The deputy leader for the Progressive National Party says their policies have brought the change that the people desire, while the People's Democratic Movement deputy leader says it has not.
Under this current administration, we saw a high increase in crime, we saw a high increase in cost of living, and in various other areas. And this government haven't really done anything with the 4-year terms that they had. We have a serious housing crisis right here in the Turks and Caicos, and for this government to ask for another 5 years now, because we had a 5-year term, is kind of a slap in the face to the citizens of this country.
Meanwhile, the Progressive National Party's deputy leader argues that their administration has already made significant progress and should be given the mandate to continue leading the country forward.
We've done a lot of work for the people of the country. We took them through the heart of COVID. We've responded, we've rebuilt the economy, and we've done a lot to relieve some of the pressure and the tension on the people. So in our new term, once the people elect us again on February 7th, we intend to supercharge and have exponential growth for the people this time, because the environment is already set.
As the campaign season winds down, both parties are intensifying efforts to mobilize supporters, hosting rallies, community meetings, and engaging in grassroots outreach to secure last-minute votes.
All the policies that we put in place to benefit the people, we anticipate they will bear fruit.
Everybody wants change, and there's only one way to really get change when you're speaking of government. You actually have to change the government.
This election could be one of the most competitive in recent years, with voter turnout expected to play a crucial role in determining the outcome. Well, the decision now rests in the hands of the people. Will the voters choose continuity or change? That decision will be made when the ballots are cast. Reporting from the Turks and Caicos Islands for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Romiko Knowles.
Well, thanks, Romiko. From TCI, we're going to throw it over to LaDawn for a sneak peek of Access Now.
Well, because I know Valentine's Day is just a few days away, but our Catholic sister, Sandy Hall, is in the house, and she's going to show us what goes into making one of these beautiful Valentine's Day bags. I'm sure you can come on in and get one after the newscast.
I sure will. Stay with us. The National Report returns after the break.
Diet-friendly special.
Is the Little Caesars
stuffed crust pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
In the Bahamas, we're connected by more than just our islands. Now we're connected by Sand Dollar. It moves with you across many digital wallets. It doesn't matter if you use Bank of the Bahamas, Cash and Go, Island Pay, Canoe, Mobile Assist, MoneyMax, Suncash, or Omni. Sand Dollar, one currency and many wallets. It's inclusive, convenient, secure, and uniquely Bahamian. Embrace the future. Available for everyone on all Bahamian digital wallet apps.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You heard what they say, Mike? Oh yeah, develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy. Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Well, that does it for the national report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Get to glow, keeping you in the know, keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, and it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, and it's good to grow.
Potter's Key vendors can now breathe a sigh of relief as the Ministry of Energy and Transport, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, work to provide power to stalls in the area.
We had our team from BPL come out and confirm the infrastructure that is already in place, and that is what we were touring earlier, so that we can confirm that BPL has done most of the heavy lifting in terms of the infrastructural upgrades needed to be able to bring electricity to Potter's Key. We were looking at making sure that if we lose power in one area, we do have our backup that is already in place and installed. And so once we energize and be able to provide power, we'll also be able to support the level of demand that's put onto the grid.
Agriculture Minister Jomo Campbell also shared his excitement for this ongoing project.
This is, again, just another example of collaboration between ministries, because it's going to be ongoing dialogue between the Ministry of Education, Energy and the Ministry of Works, because as was said by Mr. Bastian, there's still a lot to do. There are always going to be issues that we have to address, but the main thing is that we're going to address them together, collectively, partnering with all of the relevant ministries. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone that came together to make this initiative possible.
Potter's Key Dock Fish, Food, and Vegetable Vendors Association President Amanique Bowe also expressed gratitude for this long-awaited initiative.
It was long-awaited. We wanted this long time, and now it's here. And I'm sure that my vendors will embrace the opportunity. Most of them has already put the mechanism in for electricity. So most of us have electrical supplies in place, meter boxes in place, just ready for them to come and run the spiders. We had a transformer here for quite some time. It's been 8 years. It's been locked up in there. I'm surprised it still looks brand new. So we're ready to go. We're ready for electricity. We don't have to buy ice no more. We can get ice makers in our stores. We don't have to pay $60 to $70 per night to run generators.
Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Leah Cooper.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a 8-inch TV from Security Depot or a pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
International organization. The details straight ahead. Plus, it's time for the Young Chef Awards. Cleveland Indians Primary School holds honor roll assembly. And coming up in sports, Carifta qualifiers shine at the Star Trackers meet.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now. This ain't Texas, ain't no hold'em, so lay your cards down, 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 down. I didn't want to sing it because my voice is going, but Beyonce won Album of the Year at the Grammys Sunday night, an unusual album for her at that. She went outside of her realm and produced a country album that beat out the real country singers. Kudos to Beyonce for stepping out of the box. Now that that's out of the way, let's dive right into the news, shall we? A Bahamian woman making history in an international organization more than a century old called Bernadette Gibson, Lieutenant Governor, a post that opens the doors for her to help women and children all over the world. Felicity Darville has more.
Bernadette Gibson is a human resource professional and a member of the Zonta Club of Nassau. Her zeal for helping others led her to being elected Lieutenant Governor of Zonta International's District 11. It gives her the responsibility for several areas in the region, including the southern United States. She shares her sentiments on this huge honor.
I feel honored, and I am so happy to be the person to make an impact on our region in terms of being the first Bahamian, the first in the Caribbean, the first non-American to have held this position for District 11. And I'm also happy to know that I will be setting a precedent for my fellow Zontians who are outside the United States to say, hey, go for it.
Zonta International is a global organization encompassing 64 countries, over 32 districts, with more than 26,000 members, all committed to building a better world for women and children. Ms. Gibson is working to see a world where women and children have the resources needed to realize their full potential.
And as for the Bahamas, our local clubs, we work very well with the police, and the same is done abroad. In the other organizations internationally, they work very closely with those organizations that deals with crime. Well, in terms of protection, we would like for women and children to be able to live in a world where they do not fear violence.
And that's how we make the world a better place. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Budding young chefs from across the country were celebrated today at the 32nd annual Bahamas Young Chef Awards ceremony held at the Government High School. The competition showcased the skills of budding chefs, with students impressing judges with their creativity and techniques. This year's Senior Division First Place winner, Michaela Dorset, an 11th grader at Preston Aubrey High School in Eleuthera, expressed her gratitude for the opportunity and shared her aspirations for the future.
I really love cooking. I'm happy I got this opportunity and experience to be a part of something so good and great. So,
what are you going to do with this scholarship?
Use it wisely. I have one more year in school, so I will put it to use.
And what do you hope to do professionally?
Be a chef. I want to be an executive chef.
As first place winner, Dorset won a $10,000 scholarship and almost $2,000 in cash. Coming in second place was Kari Bow, an 11th grade student at Kingsway Academy, who found inspiration from a very special person, her grandfather.
My inspiration behind it all is my granddaddy.
His name?
John Adley. My granddaddy is sick, so I want this for him. And he's one of them who showed me how to cook and brought me to start to cook. And inspiration behind it all is him.
The annual event organized by the Ministry of Education continues to be a platform for young chefs to sharpen their skills and pursue their dreams. Cleveland Indians Primary School turned up the excitement at its annual Honor Roll Assembly this week, celebrating the academic achievements and hard work of its students. The event was filled with joy and heartfelt recognition as students were honored for their outstanding performances, most improved grades, and exceptional efforts throughout the school year. One of the highlights of the ceremony was an inspiring address from the Minister of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the Honorable Miles LaRota, who urged the students to continue striving for excellence.
When there were 49 students who were honored, that number went up to 80 plus last year. And I remember Principal Smith challenging you, the students, to just let us try to make 100. And you delivered on that promise of having some 100 students. I want to congratulate those over 100 students who made the honor roll, but I also want to challenge those who may have missed out, that you still have time. Just stay the course. Continue to work hard. Continue to listen to your teachers. Continue to listen to your parents. Because I can tell you as a parent, and parents and grandparents would agree in here, that we would give you all the tools that you need for success. They will sacrifice going out, and they'll sacrifice things for you. And all we ask you to do is to do your best and to get good grades.
Parents, teachers, and students were in high spirits, showering praise on the young achievers who were filled with a sense of accomplishment. And still to come, the Day for Lovers is next week. Sandy Hall joins us later in the show to give you an idea of something your lover might like. So keep it locked.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a TV from Security Depot or a game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
Business Cybersecurity Summit is a vital resource for Bahamian businesses to tackle the growing threats of cybersecurity by bringing together experts that's sharing actionable insights from regional and international perspectives. We'll be also showcasing cutting-edge solutions. It is a huge step towards creating a more secure, informed, and cyber-ready Bahamas. Secure your future. Join me at the Alive Business Cybersecurity Summit.
Welcome back. You're watching Access Now, and you're looking at a live shot of Giant Country. Yes, that's St. John's College there in Stapleton Gardens, shot by drone pilot and St. John's alumni Destiny Reed. Shout out to the Jolly Green Giants. Now let's take a trip over to Grand Bahama. Red Cross Society has appointed Lisa Turnquest as a new chair of the Grand Bahama Center. With her extensive background in humanitarian work and leadership, Ms. Turnquest is poised to drive significant growth and positive change within the organization. In her new role, she will provide strategic oversight, lead governance initiative, and guide the center's programs and partnerships. She will also lead a committee at the Grand Bahama Center, ensuring that all activities align with the mission and strategic strategic goals of the Bahamas Red Cross Society. The team at Access Now, especially producer Tanya Smith-Cartwright, congratulates Ms. Turnquest and wishes her all the best. How about straw work for Valentine's Day? Nothing says Bahamian more than straw work and John Canoe. An authentic straw work artisan joins us tonight in the person of Sandy Hall. Sandy, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Sandy, talk to us a little bit about how long have you been doing straw work?
I've been doing straw work for a while, but now I don't consider these bags straw work. I consider them art. They are art bags. I trim them with straw. These particular bags I've been doing since the pandemic. When the pandemic started, you needed something to do, and I am a person, I always loved making handbags, and I love painting. So I decided, why not combine the two? And this is what we have.
I know you told me earlier before we came on air that you do this in your kitchen. Talk to me about what actually goes into getting it all done.
I do. I have a really large kitchen counter, so I cut the fabric and I prepare the fabric. I paint the bags, and I actually sew the bags at my kitchen counter. It's a kitchen production.
And I know that Valentine's Day is next week, Friday.
Yes.
So tell us about some of the bags that you have.
What I did, I did. I made some red bags for Valentine's. I have some here, and on the Valentine bags, I got a local Bahamian carver to carve the hearts to make the bags even more Valentine-y and more special. Yeah.
And I see most of the bags has your name.
I put my name on every bag because I consider each bag a piece of art. And of course, when you do a painting, you sign your painting. I sign my bags. Each bag is signed.
And I know each bag has a significance for all of the females in your family. Tell me more about that.
I make the bags to honor the ladies in my life. My first bag was named after my mom. It was the Dillis bag, and then I made my lovely aunt Netta, who is watching. I have the Netta, the Trixie, the Virgie, and my sister, I have the Kimmy. Of course, I have a bag named after myself, the Sandy, and it goes on. I honor each lady in my life with a bag.
And how has business been for you since you started doing it?
It's good, you know. Business is not bad because Bahamian women, they are daring, like I say, daring to be bold. They're not wearing, they don't want to wear just black or brown or navy blue bags. They want to be bold. They want to be noticed. And with a colorful Sandy Hall bag, you're going to be noticed.
And what do you say to other artisans or persons who want to get involved into this type of unique craft? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, what I want to say, there are a lot of Bahamians out there doing beautiful, creative, artistic work. But what we need really is for the Bahamian stores to support us. Now, I have my bags in a few stores, but some of these stores, they want us to support them, but they won't support us. And when tourists come here, they're looking for something authentically Bahamian. They don't want to go in a store and purchase something that they could buy at home. So stores need to celebrate Bahamian artists and have Bahamian artists in the store. So when tourists come to the Bahamas, they buy something authentically Bahamian that is made in the Bahamas.
And speaking of made in the Bahamas, where can persons who want to purchase the bags as a gift or the likes?
They can contact me, Sandy Hall. I'm on Facebook, and I also have bags at the port at Paradise Handbags and Jewels, and at my wish list, Cable Beach, a lovely little store.
All right.
And I also have bags in Hopetown at Ebb Tide.
So you're gonna extend it to the other islands.
Yes, that's my dream.
Yes,
that is my dream.
All right, Sandy, thank you so much for joining us here in the Bahamas Tonight Access Now and showing us your beautiful
Thank
collection.
You so much.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All the best to you, Sandy. Let's take a look at what's coming up in sports.
And a few more Carifta pre-qualifiers from this weekend's Star Trackers meet. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this
bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Pipe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, but we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com. JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
The Sports Report is being brought to you by the Sir Durward Knowles National Sailing Championship.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. The Star Trackers Club hosting their annual meet over the weekend at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Hundreds of athletes from the capital, as well as the Family Islands, trying to attain those Carifta pre-qualifying standards. Aiden Kelly and Quentin Gordon Jr. out of Grand Bahama would pre-qualify in the boys under 20 100-meter dash. Fellow Grand Bahamian and reigning Carifta 400-meter silver medalist Kezra Thomas also qualifying in the girls under 17 200 meters, the third event in which she attained a Carifta pre-qualifying standard. We caught up with the trio post-race.
I'm happy. I thank God for allowing me to do this once again this year. Yeah, I'm just happy that I was able to do it again, qualify to represent my country.
I feel amazing. I want to stay humble. I'm just grateful that God gave me this opportunity. And I want to give a small shout out to my old track club, Golden Eagles. I want to give you an even bigger shout out to Tasmanian Speed for getting me where I am right now. I'm forever grateful. And I just want to thank them, Mitchell Spender, for getting me where he is today.
I know I had it in me. I just put my trust in God. I know I train hard, I work hard, and then I just go out there, execute my race, thanks to my coaches, and mainly God.
Working her way back from injury, Kay Marihana also pre-qualifying in the women's 400-meter hurdles. Jumpers William McKinney and Nathan Walker also with new personal bests in the boys' triple jump to pre-qualify as well.
We're not even top shape yet, and we're already qualifying.
So, we feel good. Firstly, just want to give thanks and praises to God. If it wasn't for him, I couldn't do it. And I feel good. Hopefully, I can improve in the next meets leading up to Grift, and I can jump further.
It feels good. I feel like I could have run better, could have run harder. My technique was not how I wanted it to be, but I did my best, and I trust in God. Especially after not practicing for a while because of an injury. So, it's my first meet.
And that's a look at your sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a TV from Security Depot or a game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557 3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
It's time now for your Access weather forecast, and as you can see, dry conditions continue as our live weather radar is picking up no echoes this evening. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Live Business, where we bulk up your business. In the Northwestern Islands tonight through Wednesday, it's going to be east to southeast flow at 10 to 50 knots. The wave heights at 2 to 4 feet. High tide will take place at 56 minutes past midnight. You can expect your low tide at 7:22 tomorrow morning. And for the central and southeastern islands tonight and Wednesday, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 6 feet over the ocean. So we're asking small craft in the central and southeastern islands to exercise some caution. And then as we take you into Thursday in the northwestern islands, the winds rotate clockwise, becoming southeast at 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will occur at 8:32 in the morning with a high tide at 2:15 in the afternoon. And for the central islands, southeast winds, they will be increasing 12 to 18 knots, the wave heights building 3 to 6 feet. So caution flag once again for the central islands. For the southeast bombers, the wind southeast at 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet with caution flags in place as well. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
When I'm walking down them rocky, narrow dirt roads, with a basket of potatoes on my head, oh, don't you worry, I come from down home. That's where the island folks bake their potato bread. They bake it down home, outside in the Dutch oven down home, wrapped in banana leaf down home.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. But on.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Temperatures are not as cool as I would want them to be, but I'll take it. Sit back and buckle up. Here comes Matea Cunningham with Let's Talk Socials.
Hi, everyone. You're watching Let's Talk Socials, and we're black. I mean, we're back. No, I actually mean we're black. I'm Matea, and today we're talking about how social media is reacting to Black History Month. Allow me to educate you, if you will. If you're not familiar with Black History Month, it may be because it's typically observed in the US and Canada. So no, it's not a national Bahamian holiday, and you don't get a day off from work. But it was first proposed by historian Carter G. Woodson as Negro History Week, and later expanded to a month in 1976. It's a time to reflect on the struggles and triumphs of Black people from the transatlantic slave trade to the civil rights movement and beyond. Now that you're educated, let's talk Black socials. Creators across the globe have been making comedic, educational, and motivational content to celebrate the observance. Check it out.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Many Black, brown, and white people in the U.S., Canada, and globally feel a gratitude during the month of February. A gratitude that Blacks are now granted most of the same opportunities that our counterparts have. Now that you're informed and entertained, my job is done. Thanks for tuning in.
Great job as always, Matea. That does it for Access Now. Stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson. Good night, everybody.
Did you know that if a fire starts in your home,
You may have as little as 2 minutes to escape. Keep your family and home safe with these few fire safety preparation and prevention tips. Ensure that your home has working smoke detectors. They will alert you if there is smoke and fire in your home. Install a smoke detector on every level of your home, inside each bedroom and outside each sleeping area. Test smoke detectors every month and change the batteries every 6 months. Home fires can spread rapidly and every second counts. Create an escape plan and practice it with everyone in your home. Make sure everyone can safely escape in less than 2 minutes. Keep escape routes as clutter-free as possible so no one trips or falls on the way out during an emergency. In addition to smoke detectors, fire extinguishers is an important device to have on hand. To use a fire extinguisher, remember the acronym PASS. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle, squeeze the handle, and sweep from side to side at the base of the fire. We must all do our parts to ensure that our families and homes are safe in the event a fire occurs. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, the Director of Fire Services, and all officers of the Fire Department, let's work together to help prevent fires, because fire safety is everyone's responsibility, and the life you save may be your own.
Abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in this.
It's just a joy, to help someone who is in need,
I'm proud to know that we are able to accommodate them with a hot meal, fresh meal, and a well-balanced meal.
A lot of our clients, as you know, it's in the inner city and persons who really improve and so much have lost their job. And for whatever reason, 2 months, 3 months, they really don't have anything. You have to have some kind of kindness to do this.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a 8-inch TV from Security Depot or a game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2, enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver, which is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, producing bile for digestion, and producing proteins and clotting factors. The most important cause of hepatitis worldwide is viruses, of which there are 5 main types: A, B, C, D, and E. Hepatitis B and C are major health challenges globally, affecting over 300 million persons worldwide. The suspicion of hepatitis may be a challenge, as there are typically no symptoms. However, if infected, non-specific symptoms may include decreased appetite, nausea, vague abdominal discomfort, jaundice or yellow eyes, and abnormal liver function tests. If not treated, hepatitis of any type can lead to cirrhosis and liver cancer, which leads to over 1 million deaths worldwide. If you suspect you may have been exposed to the virus that causes hepatitis, talk to your doctor today and get tested.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority in conjunction with the Medical Association of the Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
The Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting is partnering with the Bahamas Christian Council to help build stronger Bahamian families.
I believe that our ultimate experience in living begins with God and family.
Our purpose is to facilitate, guide, inspire, and equip you to have a better life.
And a strong family foundation begins with each of us trying to become better individuals. Let's unite
for a stronger Bahamas.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting, the heartbeat of the nation, leading Bahamians from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment.
I'm here at the Dixon Hill Lighthouse in San Salvador to let you know that marine protected areas make dollars and cents. A well-designed and managed network of protected areas.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS. The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. Great to have you with us tonight. Well, U.S. President Donald Trump seems to be getting even more comfortable signing executive orders today. He signed more, one of them to stop U.S. funding for United Nations programs. Now, that is no doubt could be devastating, as indeed the U.S. is a big payer and contributor to the United Nations. It's the latest in his move to stop billions of dollars in spending for international agencies in the U.S. that have been strategic partners pretty much with the world during crisis, disaster, or just initiatives. This move to remove the focus off of the U.S. being the world's rescuer and focus it on MAGA, that's of course making America great again, is having significant pushback and concern, not only in America, but throughout the world. But President Trump is showing no signs of letting up. It's now placed countries in an unusual position of wondering, will they be next? Here at home, our administration is not saying much, but all eyes are really on whether we will be further impacted by any of these orders or new policies. Every day is a wait and see. Tonight, we take on this issue and we talk about it. How will it impact us, particularly the recent tariffs that we've been hearing about? How is that going to impact us, even though it's placed on hold for 30 days? Does it still have significant consequences for us? Those are the real issues that we're concerned about, particularly since we're a country that does not export. And if you don't export, then you're going to be very concerned, because that means almost anything and everything that you need and that you import could have a tariff on it. And that means all the efforts to reduce cost of living goes out the window, because now things are even more expensive. It seems as though when you get rid of one problem, another one shows up. So that's a real issue. Is that going to affect consumers? Is it going to affect us and various businesses, particularly as we trade with the United States of America? So we're going to have that discussion tonight with a leading businessman and CEO and a former chamber president who knows this all too well. And we'll talk to him about that. Then a little later in our show tonight, of course, is the concern about crime. And there are some initiatives that the Ministry of National Security has implemented to address them. We're going to talk about one of them tonight and really how the fight on crime is going. And who's here to do that? Well, nobody better than the Minister of National Security himself. The Honorable Wayne Munro is in the studio. And we'll talk to him about some of these new initiatives they're using as also intervention measures and what impact is it having on crime. We'll talk about that. So an exciting rundown for you, and we get right to it right after the break. Stay with us.
After 30 years of banking, I've decided to take a leap of faith. I moved from banking into an untapped industry, which is manufacturing in the Bahamas. And now we are standing on 3 acres of land on which we're going to be putting the Bahamas' first end-to-end plastic recycling company, Eden Recycling and Manufacturing Company Limited. Eden has 2 arms, recycling and manufacturing.
This is groundbreaking for us. It's never been done before. It really makes a difference, not only in the Bahamas, but even around the world. This is not just a project that we're doing so that we can make a couple of dollars. We want to make sure that it benefits those who come after us. In future generations, we hope that this is a small vision, that they will take it and they'll expand on it. We can have the formula for what it means to do end-to-end recycling in the Bahamas, in the region, and even if we have to export these ideas and thoughts and concepts even into the U.S.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Welcome back to the Rundown. It's great to have all of you with us, particularly those of you who are in the Lion's Den, and then those of you watching by YouTube, or if you're watching on your cable channel or Flow TV dial, welcome to the show. Well, America's trade war, looming concern for the region, which may lead to a new norm for countries like the Bahamas, heavily reliant on imports. Estimated, get this, in excess of $3.7 billion. Now, in this report, our LTV's Mornings Tonight examines a possible fallout from those tariffs proposed for Canada, China, and Mexico that are on pause, at least for the latter, until early March. Take a look.
A lot of that stuff that we import is not actually made in the U.S. It's made in other countries. And some of those other countries include Mexico, China, and Canada.
Chairman of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation, Timothy Ingram, pointing out that significant increases can be expected once United States President Donald Trump's trade war attack on Mexico, Canada, and China sets in. As dialogue between Canada and Mexico and the U.S. has now led to a month delay on the tariffs, the Chamber executive remains cautious. Items like avocados, among others, according to Ingram, may be set to soar in price.
The U.S. has applied a 25% tariff to Mexican avocados. When we import those Mexican avocados from the U.S., then we will get that 25% tariff added on as well, which means the increased cost for those goods.
From car parts produced in Canada to vegetables grown in Mexico, a bleak outlook for nations like the Bahamas. The trade war imposed while creating challenges for Mexico, China, and Canada, so Ingram believes, may have a reverberating effect.
The U.S. is a huge exporter of agricultural products, pork, for instance, being one of them. And so if the U.S. farmers are not able to sell their pork to Canada, to Mexico, to China, it may be the case that you see discounted prices on those kinds of things.
The Chamber chairman feels a shift in import patterns may also be looming, affording greater purchasing options for the Bahamas outside of the United States.
We should cultivate other markets as well and begin to look at those for when there is an issue with sourcing from the U.S.
And the latest tariff development announced on Tuesday when China listed a broad package of economic measures targeting the United States, hitting back at U.S. President Donald Trump's 10% tariffs on Chinese imports. Now, the fresh taxes will be levied on items like crude oil, liquefied natural gas, coal, cars, and pickup trucks. And according to international reports, the new Chinese tariffs are expected to begin next week, Monday, February 10th. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
Thanks, Altaviz. So joining me to discuss this issue further is former Chamber of Commerce President and businessman, CEO as well, Addison Sumner. Sir, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
So, you know, we always say when the United States sneezes, we catch the cold kind of thing. And with this bold new move to put tariffs on neighboring countries, although the Bahamas has been levied as one of the countries to have taxes, we import. And in these countries, we are impacted by what we bring in from those countries. Right. Is this a real issue or something we ought to be watching and very concerned about?
I think we should watch it. I won't be overly concerned at this point, but I think it's important, though, Clint, to set up how this all came about, right? This did not come about from the United States president because of economic need.
Right.
Right? This did not come about because he wanted to generate more revenue for his economy. This came about purely because he wanted to protect his borders. This is border security at work, and he threatened to impose tariffs on the neighboring countries to get them to strengthen their border, stop illegal migration, slow down the use of fentanyl, etc. The consequence of that now, of course, would have been this 25% tax levied on Canada and Mexico. So the way that the Bahamas would likely have been impacted, because we know that it's been a pause for at least a month or so, would be that it doesn't impact our trade with the United States necessarily.
Correct.
Because it only impacts goods that are manufactured or produced in Mexico or Canada that are exported into the U.S. market and then that are exported out of the U.S. market.
So we won't see these tariffs being placed on goods that come directly to the Bahamas from those markets?
No, because I mean, of course, we will always be content with paying our customs duties, right? Which is what tariffs are.
Right.
Customs duties and excise taxes, etc. But if we were to conduct trade as we do now directly with Canada, directly with Mexico, then that trade tariff situation does not impact us at all. What impacts us is if we were to buy corned beef, for example, that we know is produced in Canada, that corned beef was sold to some large wholesale outfit in the United States.
In America.
And then
they would have paid that tax. So that means that corned beef goes up, but they got to ship it to us.
Yes. So anything that touches American soil will from those countries, if this deal were to go through, would attract that tax on those products, right? But if we were to shop directly to Mexico and have those goods sent from Mexico directly to the Bahamas, from Canada directly to the Bahamas, then we don't pay those.
And in fact, my friend, you actually will be safe. In cut of the middleman, you might actually save on some things.
Well, it's all about, you know, developing further your supply chain, right? Looking at other options, seeing how you can generate more of your vendor relationships that are not all necessarily coming out of the United States, but looking at other opportunities as well for your business.
And this is what Prime Minister said he would look at doing, finding other alternative trading partners that we can buy direct from.
Yes, and which is important because you need to diversify your supply chain as well, right? Because if we look at how we came, for example, through the pandemic, where we saw a lot of disruptions from supply chain. We saw at the end of last year, the longshoremen went on strike or threatened to go on strike. And we know that that would have had a devastating impact on our supply chain issues as well. So any prudent business, especially if you're in the wholesale distribution business, you would have had, I imagine, procurement people on staff, right? Some other purchasing experts on staff who will guide you and tell you when and how to purchase. And if I were in that position, right, and I heard about this possible imposition of taxes from when it started talking months ago, I would have gone into my supervisor, my CEO, and say, let's do some forward purchasing now. Let's buy some futures contracts, right? Let's lock our price points in, because if this tariff thing does go through, at least we're locked into a price that would be 25% less than what is being proposed. Fortunately for us, now there's a stay on this, so we don't expect to see any immediate impact of this. But I wouldn't be so knee-jerk with this, Clint, because the only way that you'll be impacted again is if you bought products that were manufactured in those countries that were exported into the United States and we're buying them out of the United States, right? And that includes either whether it's a whole product or components of a product, right? So for example, you might decide to buy an iPhone, from the United States, but the components of that iPhone were made in other countries. Those parts of it may have incurred that tariff, so that would increase the price of your iPhone in the United States being shipped into the country.
There are predictions that should there be a trade war, it could lead to recession and it could lead to inflation. Why?
It's the increase in the cost of doing business, right? Anytime you have a situation where your expenses exceed your revenue, you're going to have a tailspin. You're going to have what is called a recession. It goes into depression, etc., right? So if we start talking about increasing or imposing tariffs on products coming into the Bahamas, we already having to pay customs duty. We already having to pay VAT on these items coming in. Now you're talking about potentially another 25% or so added on to that cost. But it may be more than 25%. 25% is being added on to the first cost coming into the United States market. But you have to now consider your margins, because if you're a businessman and you're used to having, let's say, 20% margin on your product, you don't want to lose your margin.
Right.
So the way that's going to impact us would be that the consumer now would have to be the ones to pay that difference, because if I'm a business person and my costs have increased by 25%, I'm not going to swallow that. I'm going to pass it on to my customer. That's who's going to end up paying that ultimately. And if everyone is now having to pay an increase in the cost of goods in this country, and these tariffs at the moment do not impact services, if everyone is required to pay an additional 25% or so more in certain goods that are coming into the country, then naturally it's going to have an impact on the economy. It could cause slowdown in spending, which is where recession really begins, when money stops moving, right? And as we know, we call money currency for a reason. It's supposed to move.
Right.
When currency stops moving, it loses its value, right? And so when you talk about a recession, if prices go up and people stop spending as much as they used to, then yeah, that's usually where this whole idea of a recession begins.
I want to talk about another thing, so we'll take a couple more minutes on this, and that is obviously we see the inflated prices of eggs, right? Eggs, which used to be $3-something a dozen, and now way more than that, doubling that. Do you see? Obviously, we're being told that futuristically, because of a bird flu coming on, that it's going to be even longer before they regain themselves and so forth.
Yeah.
What do you predict is going to happen with that? I mean, are we going to see possibly paying $15, $20 for a carton of eggs?
Well, I think, frankly, it might get worse before it gets better.
Really?
Because of what we see happening and trending globally. The bird flu now is just adding on to those concerns that we have. But here's the alternative now, though. We're seeing that there are local groups who are now producing local eggs. We saw on your newscast earlier, in fact, about schools who are producing eggs now for $5 for a dozen eggs.
Yeah.
Right. So if I were, buying eggs, my wife buys the eggs. If I were to buy, I'll go make a beeline to Government High School.
Of course.
To try and get my orders in. So it actually, these kinds of things actually create opportunities. So we have to be open-minded to see where the opportunities are, right? So every consequence has there's an action and a reaction. And I think when we see these things happening, let's just open the box and see where the opportunities are for us to explore.
How are we going to, this is my final question, how are we going to bring the cost of living down? That is one of the, I guess, challenges of any administration, particularly this one, and one that they recognize must be dealt with if they want to stand a chance in re-election. How does that happen?
How much time did we have?
I know, right?
Listen, there are so many factors that go into the cost of living. A lot of it has to do with policy, right? Government policy.
Government policy.
Government policy has a lot to do with it, because we have to live by policies. Policies establish laws, right, and vice versa. So we've got to live by policies established. But there are also times when we've got to look at taking a certain level of personal responsibility. Now, when I say policies, for example, we have no control over customs duty. The government imposes that. We have to pay it. If we bring stuff in, we've got to pay it.
Right.
We have no control over VAT being imposed, applied to anything we purchase in this country, goods or service.
Correct.
We've got to comply, right? That's just how law-abiding citizens do. But we also have to search markets to see where there are opportunities for us to leverage certain goods and services in the country, how we can bring certain costs down. I think it's going to be a case where we continue to speak with government from the private sector side to say, listen, certain things that are happening in the country, we need to relax it a little bit because it's putting too much of a squeeze, especially on the fellow at the bottom of the economic pole who really is having a hard time making ends meet in the first place. So, and then this is the idea about looking at the cost of what we're earning, looking at our issues of total factor productivity. Are we getting, if the government is imposing a fee on us for services, the first question people like me will ask is, are we getting value for that service?
Right.
If we're getting value for the service, then it becomes almost relative, right? But I think as the government moves, in order for them, if you say put it where you're talking about having a chance of being reelected, in my mind, that should be secondary, you know? Right. If you do what has to be done and the masses benefit, you don't have to worry about being reelected. It comes almost with the territory.
Well, the question always is, if government provides relief for the businessmen, is that relief being passed on to the consumer? Because you do get the concessions, you get the relief, and the people in the stores still don't see the change.
Well, see, that is an issue that we've had for quite some time. When I served as CEO of the business organization, we had that same question, same concerns. And one of the things I remember doing then was having a direct, very, very candid conversation with businesses who were reported to be gouging prices. Right. Even when they got relief, it wasn't being passed on. So I think there is a moral imperative by business owners in this country as well, that if you got a relief, pass it on, because you want to, you know, when we serve customers to serve customers again, and to serve them again. And if you're losing a customer because you're not prepared to be a little flexible in how you handle business, then you're going to lose them probably for a lifetime. So we've got to be a little more flexible in how we deal with business, and if it means that businesses are getting the relief from the government, I think it's only fair that they pass some of that relief on to their consumers and their customers.
That's where the moral obligation comes in.
Yeah.
Edison Sumner, thank you. It's always a pleasure having you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Stay with us. When we come out, the Minister of National Security is here to discuss some critical intervention methods in the fight against crime. Find out what they are ahead. We're back after this.
Setting course for industry success, Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Romer, revealed the vision for the aviation sector for 2025.
First of all, we are very proud of what we achieved in aviation in 2024. Today, stakeholders from across our entire ecosystem gathered, and we actually unveiled the 2025 vision for aviation. This year, we are strategically focused on what we call taking flight. We have spent a lot of time and yielded great results in 2024 with both regional, global, and local stakeholders in deepening those partnerships. We are doing a lot more of that in 2025. So you'll hear us now speaking about our approach to have all parties seated at the table. Your domestic, your international stakeholders, your domestic carriers, your international legacy carriers. You want to give everybody, again, through strategic partnerships, not just a chance to be in the room, but a chance to sit at the table. So we're deepening our partnerships in 2025. I'm very pleased now with this H part of our Take Flight, the development of human capital. Human capital, again, gives us the most competitive advantage in any industry. So you'll hear us now speak about a mentoring approach. We're looking at the next generation of aviators, preparing them to take leadership roles. You'll hear us about our leadership roundtables. This is going to be our intentional focus as it relates to developing human capital. So this is going to be the year we're not just focusing on developing projects, we're focusing on developing people. We call it the 3 Ps, people, projects. This is going to be another banner year for aviation, and this is going to be that we actually take flight.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting TingsyBahamas.com.
Super Bowl Sunday just got even better.
Starting January 27, enter to win a TV from Security Depot or game day pizza party for 8 courtesy of Cuba Libre and Angelo's Street Side Pizzeria.
2. Enter to win to be one of 2 lucky winners of the Great Game Day giveaway.
WhatsApp a photo of a 2025 Cuba Libre purchase receipt to 557-3488 with your name and phone contact by Wednesday, February 5th.
Then, watch what's trending on February 6th to see if you're one of the lucky Great Game Day giveaway winners.
Welcome back to the Rundown. Well, the Ministry of National Security has been busy implementing key measures to address social ills in communities that often turn into matters of crime. The latest to take place tomorrow. Joining me to discuss this and crime in general is the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Munro. Sir, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Good to be here, Clint.
Before we even go into the talking about initiatives, let's just get a general idea of how things are looking now. I know there's been a concerted effort to address crime, the major cases that we've been seeing happening, like murder, crime against persons and so forth. How are we doing? How are we looking? Are we making the progress? Are we going in the right direction?
Clint, what is very important is that we are consistent in our efforts, and so that we don't have to stop and starts. That, in my view, has been a cause of the difficulties that we've had over time. And so they say the Chinese are very successful because they set 20-year plans and they stick to them. We have determined that you have to look at this thing holistically, so criminals don't drop from the sky, formed and with criminal intent. At some point, every murderer was somebody's good son, even if it was just at birth. And so somewhere from birth to 14, 15, 16 today, something goes wrong. And so the approach of this administration has been that we have to look at everything in the round. And so you just don't look at the finished product, you look at how did it get here. Because you can keep recruiting police and supplying them. And if you don't address why people are arriving at that point, they'll continue to have work to do. And so that is why you see the 5-point approach and prevention first, to try and prevent people getting into criminality. If you cannot do that, then the police have to apprehend them. And we have to try them in our judicial system in terms of prosecution. We have to punish them because there has to be consequences. But after that is done, we have to rehabilitate you because you're coming back to the community. And so we have been focused on being consistent in all of those areas. And since it is an all of government, all of society effort, we've been coordinating across the government agencies, and we've been reaching out for the support of the community. And that is what is happening tomorrow.
We're seeing, I would think, it feels like a slowdown in violent crime. It feels like we don't have that constant every night, sometimes even 2, 3 murders. It seems as though there's not that turf gang war going on as rampant as it was. What's causing that to happen?
Clint, you still have the main drivers of crime, as the police say, the gang retaliation murders. You have the simple domestic matters. You have the I can't figure out how to peacefully sort out an argument. And then sadly, you're seeing an increase in mentally challenged people becoming involved in violent crimes and homicides for different reasons. I have said we need to stop putting numbers on these things, because persons aren't numbers. Every person who is killed is a person to somebody. And when we reflect on that, then we can start to address it. And so yes, violent crime has been trending down, all except murder. And we've seen in the last statistics, even sexual offenses now are trending down. And that must be because the public is getting it. Because after all, it's members of the public who are committing the crimes. So it must be that persons are prevailing on their family members, their friends, to do better. It must be that our institutions of state, our civil society is participating to get people to decide that they're going to desist from criminal behavior.
Let's look at the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Last year, complaints against officers increased by 115% in 2024, 147 cases in 2023 to 315 last year. What's your response when you hear statistics like that?
Statistics like that can be interpreted one of two ways. For instance, with the sexual offenses, they were going up for a while because as you make something more comfortable for someone to report, more people will report it. As you demonstrate to persons that there will be a consequence, a result from their report, more people are likely to report it. And so the police have somehow been cursed by their own success. So when you see them putting police officers before the court, people might figure out, well, you know, there is some value in making a complaint against a policeman because something's going to happen. If you think absolutely nothing is going to happen, then of course, why waste your time in making a complaint? That used to be my experience when I was defense counsel. You'll tell someone, go make a complaint to complaints and corruption. Oh, no, Mr. Monroe, that's going to be a waste of my time. And so if those numbers are an indication that more people are having faith to come forward and make complaints because they have faith in the system that something will happen and their time won't be wasted, that is actually a positive thing.
Do you believe this has impacted the trust level between police officers and the public?
I would like to think that as the public sees that the police are holding their own accountable, they should trust them. If we were in a circumstance where you never saw a police go before the court, you should be very concerned because they're human beings, they're bound to fail and err. So how is it that we never hear them going before the court? We never see them paraded to court. And so my approach to it would be, in all of my time, about 3.5 decades back, I'm more encouraged when I see policemen being held accountable because that tells me the system is working. Whenever you see all and sundry being held accountable, that means the system is working.
Let's talk about the police force on this new leadership. Your reaction to what you're seeing. Anything changing? Are you remain confident and hopeful? She's in office now. She's functioning.
Well, let me start by saying, and it is something that I wouldn't say I'm breaching a confidence. When we met with them, all of the hierarchy of the police expressed the same thing, that the force is made up of very many good and faithful officers. And so that's the starting point. I'm encouraged that I see that when the ethics training started, it started from the top. So the first persons to go into ethics training was the commissioner and the senior executive leadership team, and they led from the front in that. And now the other officers are following through. So they've started to take steps to be open and to say, we know that we are courageous, loyal, and persons of integrity, but to demonstrate it to you, here is what we're doing. To reinforce this in our members, here is what we're doing. And quite frankly, I think that bodes well for the future. What has also been happening is there's been some discomfort because there's been some breaking of long-held matters. People are being transferred around. You know, you get comfortable in this space. And the attitude of this commissioner and a senior team of policemen have to experience the full breadth of policing to be well-rounded. And so you might not like to be transferred for the Family Islands, but guess what? You could be junior and have a very serious command in the Family Islands, something you would never have if you were to remain in New Providence. You might not want to go to a specialized agency department, but you need to experience that. And so, yes, I've been getting some complaints from people who think the minister can stop you being transferred, but for the public, I don't transfer policemen. I can't stop you being transferred. That is a matter that's a policing decision, and we leave it to them.
I'm going to ask you this question, and I normally wouldn't ask a minister this question, but you've always been one who's been very honest and upfront and bold with your answers, so I will ask it to you. Do you believe you've been effective as a Minister of National Security?
Bearing in mind what the job remit is, yes. The main task of the Minister of National Security across the agencies, one with the police, is to understand that the police are the police. I'm not the police. I'm their advocate to get resources. In terms of prevention and rehabilitation, that's where I can play an active part and the ministry plays an active part. For the Defense Force, it's the same thing, advocating for resources. And in that organization, I give instructions. And for corrections, that's where I really get to be active in working with the commissioner on rehabilitative programs. And of course, in parliamentary, that's another independent commissioner. And so the biggest part of being a minister, in my view, to be successful is not to be too full of yourself. You're not the end all and be all. You have to know what your role is and fill it. And so I don't intend to be chastised by a court for impinging on, for instance, the independence of the police. You won't see that with Wayne Monroe.
Mr. Monroe, you talked about corrections. How confident are you that this time around the prison will get its accreditation?
I'm fairly confident that some of the housing units will get their accreditation. We know as a fact that maximum security will never be accredited because you cannot be accredited when you still have slopping out persons using slop buckets for human waste. We know that the remand center intake can't be accredited until the toilet system is fixed. It's out of commission now. And we have good faith that the male juvenile detention center, we're now looking at the work scheme dorm, and female may be able to be accredited. And we're working feverishly to try to get the new facility underway, because in this day and age, we really shouldn't have people slopping out human waste every morning.
So you said the remand center, the toilet system is not working.
Yes, it's the inmates through the residents, through lit fires down the toilets and that destroyed the pipes, so they need to be redone. But at least it's outfitted for indoor plumbing. Maximum security isn't outfitted for plumbing at all.
Some people would describe it as inhumane.
Well, it's been described as that, and sometimes we resist that when people take us to court. So we will continue to resist that. We do our best to make a bad situation at least bearable.
You've been pushing for Marco's alert. Are you satisfied with how the system is now operating?
It's working satisfactorily from a technological standpoint. There are still one or two glitches in terms of how it is actualized. So the alert that went out because somebody didn't call the father to see if the father had the child, and we have to work harder in stopping that from happening. But the position of the police are to err on the side of caution. That, you know, if you have a child who may be in danger, it's best to disturb you.
Right.
Than to determine not to disturb you, and then there be bad consequences. So on balance, I think it's working well. It is also used for emergency messages during hurricane season. And so it's a very useful tool.
I want to pivot now to what we started out talking about, and that is intervention methods. Tomorrow is going to be a training that takes place for pastors. Talk a little bit about what this is all about and why this route.
This is actually towards the end of an overall strategy that we launched, the first place that we launched it, and it's not a pilot. It is the first phase of the Clear Hold Bill was launched in Angliston. And the first stage is to clear. So you clear overgrown properties, you clear away derelict vehicles, you demolish unsafe structures. Why? Because that's where criminals hide their guns, their drugs. And when we cleared areas in Montel Heights, that is where, for instance, next to the school, you had old mattresses where all sorts of funny things were happening.
Wow.
And so you clear it first. And then after you clear it, you have to seek to hold it so they don't come back. So you clear the hot boys out of the area because they're not hot spots. They're just inhabited by some people who are inappropriate. And then it's up to the community to help us hold it. And then we have to build on what we have. And so as a part of the build phase, the whole hold and build phase, we have spoken with the community. And something that is recognized as needed is persons who can de-escalate conflicts, settle matters. Everything doesn't have to come to young people, say, a vibe that goes into something else, that ends up before the police, that ends up in court. And so we have approached the church, because there are churches scattered throughout all of our communities. We've had an initial training at the ministry with psychologists on conflict resolution. You'd be surprised, Clint, how many people die because they have no way of talking. Sometimes you see the videos, fellas start talking, they start rowing, somebody gets shot, somebody gets stabbed, and then that's a homicide. And so to try to de-escalate those, it's professionally teaching the pastors, how do you resolve conflict professionally, not just thinking it, but so doing it in an ordered way. There's 2 psychologists who will run the sessions. At the end of the day, those who successfully navigate it will be certified, and that's the build towards a bigger model of community courts. So Deputy Commissioner Kopp's role, Anthony Kopp's role, and Assistant Commissioner Roger Thompson will travel either at the end of February or March to New York to see the setup of how they run one of their community courts, which is a dispute resolution method and forum that does not involve going before the actual court.
Wow.
And so we're trying to build this model where we go back to what we used to have, senior people solving problems, and the police only becoming involved in the most extreme cases. Because quite often, once you call the police, people stop talking, people stop reasoning. You call the police on me, so no more discussion.
Exactly. We ain't talking no more. You take it to a whole different level.
Exactly.
Right.
And so this is what the persons expressed that they wish, because when you build back, you have to build according to what people want and will support, not what you, the politicians, think they should have, but what they tell you they would desire to see in their communities if it works. And so that is what we're doing tomorrow at First Baptist Church.
Awesome. We're going to take a break right here. We'll come back and wrap up with the minister and find out exactly how, I'm going to put it out to you, what you can do to get involved in how we build back our communities better and prevent crime. We'll wrap up with the minister right after the break. Stay with us.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Stripe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what we as Bahamians can do.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
My motto is one girl at a time. If we start with just one thing and we build on that, I think that makes a whole big difference. When we started out, we didn't anticipate having 1,000 children here. Our goal was to reach one child at a time. The whole idea was to find a safe place for them, some place for them to express their talents and their giftings, and also a positive environment for them to be in. I do the work that I do in my community because I see that they can become more than they are. I can see that they will be great in this community. I can see born leaders. And one thing I can say, the change in them has affected their families. If we started something small, it grows, and we have a greater impact on the community as a whole. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Welcome back. We're talking to the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Munro, about new intervention methods that they're using to really address crime. What's revolutionary about this is the fact that we're so used to national security being responsive and not necessarily intervention methods or preventative methods. And here are some programs that they're implementing, working with pastors to help be able to assist people with conflict resolution. And of course, with the community courts, I think he described it as, where things that can't be resolved one-on-one can be resolved in an informal court setting to bring resolution to community. What role, Minister, can people play in helping to reduce crime? We're seeing it go in the right direction. How do we keep it going there? People have to play a part in this. What role do you need people to play in this?
Clint, I need people just to obey the second commandment, which is to love your neighbor as yourself.
That's a good one then. Good start right there.
It used to be very easy for us to do. It used to be that when you saw a mother struggling, instead of just making fun of her and waiting until she fails, you helped her. When you saw a young boy needing correction and mentoring, you did it. You just basically helped your neighbor, because that's what loving your neighbor means. We've gone away from that, and that is the problem. And so if you have a church dance group, that's actually an intervention program if you can get young people in that. If you have anything that engages positively with young people, that's a start. Andy and Nancy Knowles, they teach young children how to swim, but on the bus ride, you get memory verses, songs, you get discipline. So it doesn't always have to be the police force, the defense force doing hype, doing shock treatment, that sort of stuff. It's the things that you can do yourself. That's what the Prime Minister means when he says all of society. We can all help somebody, even if it's just encouraging them. You know, Clint, I read a crime report where a young lady attempted suicide in Abaco, 21 years old, because she said she didn't think anyone loved her.
Wow.
So simply to be able to say, good day, how you doing, share a pleasant word, all of that is loving your neighbor. Because if you're loving your neighbor, you can't kill him, eh?
Right.
You can't rob him.
Right.
You can't jerk him up. And so that very simple commandment, which is the second commandment, which is like the first, which is just love your neighbor, just stop being mean, cantankerous, and downright nasty.
Right.
Just understand that we're all Bahamians. There's enough for everyone. And if we keep pulling each other up, we'll all rise. Forward, upward, onward together. That's what the motto says.
Yep.
And so that's what we need. We need everyone to understand you have a part in this. Do the little that you can do, or the great things that you can do, and don't worry about what anyone else is doing.
All right, Minister, I think that's a good note to lead on. Thank you so much for being here and talking to us tonight, and we continue to support the efforts of all of our armed forces as they try to make this place safer. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
When we come back, we go to Turks and Caicos and find out the latest as they prepare for their general elections in just a matter of 2 days. We're back after this. Stay close.
Mailboat service is a critical service to the islands of the Bahamas. Certainly, Andrews has always been there and dear to us. That's where we're born and raised. And so we play a crucial role in advancing the growth and development of Andrews. Customers want service and they want consistency. From the start, that's been our commitment. We work to sail on time every time. Our customers have come now to expect this from us. And one of the biggest challenges we've had was finding adequate funding. SPDC from the very start has been a lifesaver. My advice to young people, if you have a vision, a passion, an idea, go for it. Don't give up. It's not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Be consistent and you'll get there.
The Public Hospitals Authority wishes to advise the public that during a storm, hospital visitation hours, specialty clinics, rehabilitation and outpatient services, with the exception of the emergency department, are suspended. The public is asked to pay particular attention to announcements prior to and during the storm for information about the suspension or the resumption of hospital visitation hours, specialty clinics, rehabilitation or outpatient services, and the rescheduling of appointments, elective, and other surgeries. If you have a loved one in hospital, speak with the nurse in charge of his or her care to provide necessary items for your loved one prior to the storm's arrival.
Welcome back to the Rundown. On Friday, the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands will head to the polls to elect their next government for a 5-year term. Of course, last night we heard from Premier Washington Missick on really what his plans are, why he believes he and his government should be re-elected. Well, the leader of the opposition's People Democratic Movement in the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Honorable Edwin Aswood, is making the rounds ahead of general elections on Friday. He joined our Miko Knowles for an in-depth conversation on the pressing issues facing the TCI, from economic recovery to governance challenges. Aswood shares pretty much an exclusive insight into his vision for the country and why he believes his party is a right choice for the people. Take a look.
My name is Edwin Aswood. I am the leader of the opposition and leader of the People's Democratic Movement.
Okay. Thank you so much once again for making yourself available to us this afternoon. First question, as the leader of the PDM, what is your vision for the Turks and Caicos Islands?
My vision is really and truly uplifting of our people in our country. We have seen over the past 4 years that there has been a decline in our people participation in business, our people participation in the wealth of the country, our people participation in the top jobs, getting access to scholarships, access to loans, home ownership. We have just seen a decline in Turks and Caicos Islands participation. Now we have to turn things around.
The cost of living in TCI is a major concern for many residents. What is your plan to help it to be more affordable for them?
We have to go into what is the root cause of why the cost of living is so high. People like to go back to the supply chain. So we have to look at all that. We have to look at the customs tariff here, see how we can expand the breadbasket items, what things we can bring down. But whenever a government does those kind of measures, we need to make sure that the consumer benefits.
Can you list some of the differences between your leadership and the PNP?
We have always been the party that represents our people. But over the years, the PNP has been the party that represents the interests of big business, foreign companies. Yes, they would give our people a little, but they take more for themselves. They see themselves as top class, and the rest of us are just civil servants or little businessmen struggling. So our main thing is our people is at our heart. Our people are our priority. With the PDM, we will ensure that the rising tide will float all boats. We're not going to cherry pick who is successful.
You're talking a little bit about the economic development and job creation. As tourism remains a dominant sector in TCI, how will you diversify the economy to ensure long-term stability?
We saw during the pandemic how difficult it was when your economy is just based on tourism. When people stop traveling, airlines cannot move people. People cannot go into the hotels. We see how crippled here. And unlike some countries in the Caribbean that had striving financial services where they can just close down. We had to go through the painstaking process of trying to keep our country open. So we realized that we have to diversify our economy. We cannot just rely on tourism. A pandemic, a bad storm, anything can cripple tourism. So we have to look at trade. Trade isn't going anywhere. The position, the geographic position of the Turks and Caicos Islands makes us suitable for trade, cargo, shipping port, transport. We are positioned for it. Deep water, islands, outer islands, uninhabited islands with access to deep water. We have to get trade going.
I want to get into crime and national security. Crime has been a growing issue in the country. Residents are extremely concerned, and the current government says they have policies and plans in place to counteract that and strengthen its borders. What is your plan to combat the crime and the high importation of illegal firearms in the Turks and Caicos Islands?
Yes, thank you very much. Obviously, the plans that the government has put forward has been failing, and it's failed miserably. And we saw that they only wait until the House was dissolved to go to cabinet to get $500,000 for additional boots on the ground, when many people have already lost their lives. You see the difference between the PDM and the PNP. We are a proactive government. We want to put things in place before they happen. We are not going to be like this government, reactive. After the case, now you're going to go and do it. We truly believe that prevention and ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure.
Some policies have changed over the years as it relates to Turks and Caicos Islands government, but how will you ensure transparency and accountability within your administration?
We're going to make sure that after every cabinet meeting, we have something like how you have the press secretary in the U.S., that someone comes out of cabinet and address reporters, address the nation. This has been passed. Persons want to ask questions about it. Why did you make this decision? Why did you make that? Myself may appear. Other ministers, members of cabinet appear and address cabinet, the nation. Every time cabinet is finished, we'll have that press secretary, that press office that will address people and other decisions. When we come out of the House of Assembly, we're going to make sure that our people know every decision that we made on behalf of them. So I'm not just new to this game. I have been put through the test. They have seen me in the House of Assembly, the only person elected, one man elected against 14 other elected officials, and represented them, held those persons accountable where they were afraid of me, one man they were afraid of. So imagine now with my team, imagine now doing all that by myself at that time with one appointed member and represented the Turks and Caicos Islands. So I know I am the man for the Turks and Caicos Islands, and I know with me and my team, we can take the Turks and Caicos Islands forward.
Thank you so much for your time, Honorable Edwin Asquith. I do appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, there you have it. That's his focus. That's his goal. He's going up against the premier, who's hoping to be re-elected. And on Friday, the people of the Turks and Caicos Islands will decide that. Our Ramiko Knowles is live in the Turks and Caicos Islands. He's joining us tonight. Ramiko, great interview there. You've done an excellent job last night and again tonight. Let me ask you, what is the atmosphere like on the ground? Have you been talking to residents? What are the people saying as to who they want to lead them in the next term of government? Is it a clear-cut lead, or does it seem like a deadlock? What is your reaction on the ground?
Well, Clint, at this point, it would be premature for me to make that assertion as to who would be the next government to run this country. Due to my busy schedule, I haven't had an opportunity to meet with the electorate like I would like to. But let me tell you, some persons are saying that they are going PNP straight down the line. Others are saying that their vote is going to be split between the candidates, and some are undecided. But February 7th is certainly shaping up to be a hotly contested election. And as you mentioned, speaking with the current Premier, Charles Washington Mizik, he is confident that the voters will re-elect him to office on February 7th. He is campaigning on the promises that he has delivered on over the last 4 years. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Movement, they are saying that enough is enough. They're ready for change, and they're telling the people of Turks and Caicos Island that if you want change, then you need to change the government. But as for the electorate, right now it's kind of hard to tell because it's up in the air. So Friday is going to be interesting.
I know in the Bahamas, when we have elections, there's always it seems like a festive time, exciting time, events, rallies. Is that the same kind of mood in the Turks and Caicos Islands? Rallies going on, people buzzing about the action intensifying?
Absolutely. We haven't had the chance to attend any rallies as yet. We're going to do that later this week. But as you said, people are wearing their party paraphernalia. They're representing in their shirts, their hats. Just moments ago, a vehicle drove by playing the music. The campaign songs are in the air. And people are certainly feeling election fever here in Turks and Caicos. And as mentioned, I think Friday is going to be interesting. Both parties are certain that they will come out with the victory. And so it's going to be something to see. And as you mentioned, I can't actually tell the difference between Grand Bahama and Turks and Caicos Islands. The people are passionate about politics, and that's what I'm seeing on the ground, just as they are in the Bahamas. And they're telling people to vote for them because they believe that they can bring the change that this country needs.
All right, well, we'll see. Rico knows. Thanks. Great reporting there. You and your team stay safe. Thanks again. Our Rico knows, reporting from Turks and Caicos Islands. He'll be keeping us covered all week. Well, that does it for the rundown. Be sure to stay locked on the ZNS network for the Bahamas tonight at 11. It's the final newscast in the country with the latest news and information with Royston Jones. And he is in the building getting ready for the 11 o'clock news. For all of us here at ZNS, I'm Clint Watson. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Centerville, I'm LaDawn Davis. This is ZNS.
Thou shalt not kill, the sixth commandment that God has given us. Unfortunately, many in our society do not adhere to this, and we are faced with the increase in murders every year. What should be the punishment? The Privy Council has said only the worst of the worst can receive the death